Okay.
There you go.
Hello, everybody.
And
Hey,
so
thank
the
you, Tim. He joined
AI
us.
chat
So
should
I
work now,
will
or
now
companion.
stop
Okay.
talking about work.
Well, we'll do it in a minute. Okay, so we were just chatting and we're going to start our call right now. And let me go ahead and get this
You,
AI companion going
you
to start
got it.
recording
It's
the
being
script.
transcribed. It's going.
Ah, good. Super. I saw this little thing box up. I wonder what happens if I X out of it so I have a full screen. Will that mess it
All right,
up?
Chris, yeah, I'll let you go and let you have a good meeting then.
Oh, so you
Thank
can
you.
drop off because you made me host.
Correct. I can pop off. Yep.
Oh, how cool. Yay,
Wow,
we're gonna
that
try.
is so awesome.
Thank you, Tim.
You're such an
Best of
awesome
luck.
brother.
He is an
Bye.
awesome brother. Yay for Tim.
Take care. All
All
right.
right,
See ya.
take care. Bye. All right, so I'm glad Tim could jump on and help us out here. I'm afraid to touch anything over here. So let me see if there are any chats. Okay, it does right over the AI companion box. I was like, so I could see if we added a chat because I might. Today, all right, so my theme was to continue with some of our focus on the email, creating an email sequence based on a product that you pick, and maybe even some playing around with a lead magnet creation. I kind of wanted to see where you guys are at with building this system that will tie into Sheraton Bridge pages to be able to get your products on Sheraton side. We're doing the Clickbank products promoted on the ads while we're collecting emails. So I've been talking about this a little bit the last couple of weeks when we started the Discord community chat a little bit more. Curious if you guys have looked at and nailed down your product yet, or are you still kind of looking? Where are we at on all of that?
So with me, I'm thinking I'm gonna go with like music stuff,
Okay.
and I'm steering clear of all the like the bilateral whatever, just because I was like, maybe I should test it on myself and see if I feel funky, because I'll be able to figure it out right away, but then they don't let you test it first.
Oh, yep. No, they want you to buy it, and that's a pain.
So I'm like, okay. Um, but yeah, I think I'm gonna really try to find something that's like with music. And if that means that I have to wait until it's not ClickBank, then I'll wait a little bit. But then like I have I don't I really need to figure out a way to get the email like up, like the
I'm sorry to interrupt, Meg. Adam did say there'd be another. I don't know what ClickBank is called again.
yeah, well,
Like
yeah,
mixer
he
or
said,
whatever.
yeah.
There'll be another one
The
added
Biotti
soon.
and all these other, he mentioned three or four of them.
Yeah.
So I wrote it down somewhere. But so I figure every week he's gonna introduce some group, and I'll just like look in here and there and everywhere. So yeah,
Have you
because
seen
my
in the ClickBank side, you were looking for music therapy and you didn't see any program on that?
there was one that was a little bit more on the meditation, whatever, but
Okay.
it didn't have a price or what they make profit out of.
Yeah, the gravity is pretty important to see who's like how many are being promoting it and what is their,
Because
price point.
if there's nothing, then that's no good, right?
Right. Yeah, you don't want to pick a product that doesn't look like it's got traction. So,
There. But I figure, with the program that I'm going to put out there, it's going to really attract a lot of people, and then they'll really want to. Well, I'll have the music, like if I purchase it and I have it in the background for whatever meditation. Because did you hear any of the meditations that I recorded?
no, I haven't looked.
That's
I've been
okay. Um, but I recorded them with music, like royal free music in the background, and I have that ready to go. So that could go along with the 6-week program. And Yeah, so that's why I was hoping that I could get you use some of the like the banners and the headline and whatever and get it out there and see if I got any email leads that way.
Yeah. So there's you know, one thing that I am looking at for myself, and you might want to think about it too for you, is it's really important to have a product that converts well when you're running paid ads. And my big
Right, that's the
concern
thing.
is building an email sequence is, to try to sell stuff is a really good way to go if you already have those leads coming in. For me, I'm not experienced in building a good sales page and having it take off. I don't know, I'm studying, I'm in a training right now to kind of learn that, but that doesn't mean that like I know best how to do it for myself, let alone coach you on that. And we've used some of those chat GPT script creators, and I think freeadcopy.com could really help. But I'm hesitant to say, let's put this offer out and try to get those sales on the front side when we don't know if it's going to convert well and if it's going to resonate with the audience that, Adam knows his traffic sources better than we do, obviously. Like we're just guessing, but we have no idea. And if supplements are the big thing with those traffic sources that convert well, I'm hesitant. I mean, I'm not saying I'm going to do some of mine that is a little different too, but I want to look for something that already has really good numbers because that way I'm not throwing ad spend on something that can't convert. It's obviously converting for these people, maybe not this traffic source, but we'll find out. And it's so I'm just afraid of adding another variable of my own landing page and my own sales page and run a bunch of ads. Because if you think about like, okay, so Adam lowered down the metrics on the first test because he originally said 25 headlines and 10 images. That's 250 banners that at $10 a piece. I thought,
That's
uh-oh,
like,
$2,500 on the first test. I was a little like,
and then
5%.
hearing some of the Friday people saying, "Oh, so it's okay to throw $2,000 here and there." I'm like, what nation are they coming from? Sorry.
Yeah. So no, I know. And so I was a little concerned. And when I saw him revise that in his second call on Thursday and said, let's do 50 headlines and one image. Now we're going back to testing the images and the landing pages because he's doing metric mover right away. So we're going to be testing the headlines with it and obviously the banner. Then what he's doing is he's testing on the landing page what hero shot does best before you run it under the banner. So it's kind of the backwards way he's been doing it, but thinking that if you go backwards, it might be that we'll have better winners this way. We'll see. But everything's a test. But I was much more comfortable with a $500 test as opposed to 2,500 if we're going to do, 50 banners with, 50 headlines and one image. And that's $10 a banner at 500. It's not so bad for starting. And then, I don't know how many iterations he typically has to go through, but if you have a 3% conversion, that means out of 50 banners, a 3%, I said three that show promise of converting. Let me rephrase that because he said 3% promise of converting in the initial test. Then 50, you might get one or two out of there that you could move forward into more iterations, is my thinking. But if he's using the landing page as the testing ground for your images, that's a brilliant way to do it. And I think it will help with the costs in the front side. But you still have to go through quite a few testing iterations, if I understand the process correct, because if you got 3%, you can move forward, doesn't mean it's all profitable right now. So your next test is iterations of those 3%, which with 50 would be like one or two images. Like you're going to be in this process a while and you want your ad spend not to run out too quickly. And a lot of people don't understand this. They think, oh, I just do all that and all, testing the way Adam does it. Well, we don't have the budget that he has. So he's narrowing things down. I was very pleased with what he did on Thursday to kind of say, okay, let's try it this way. And then I think that's a brilliant way because a lot of the ads been just running through all those images right up front. And then you have nothing and you're out of money. It's kind of a hard framework to work from. So I think that's good. Like I said, I'm a little concerned about us with our own programs trying to run that on the front side of the funnel. Whereas we could pick something that is getting good traction. We could check CB Engine and some of those other CB Snoop or whatever it was. I have it on the first call, those links. And those were other ways to see what is getting good traction. And it seems delayed on that platform because what I saw on the marketplace, it seemed like some of those leading offers are not showing up in CB Engine right now. But the fact is, I would pick products that are doing well and then try to test my sales page and my other things through the email automations. That's my thought. And I would kind of encourage you to go that route, at least with the ad spend you have left with Adam, to try to get leads on that you can market to on email afterward. So
Meg, are you working a lot with females, or is it like it's both male and female?
Well, both male and female. I mean, because of the fact that I was working initially with veterans
Yeah,
and 9/11 victims. So
more men than
uh,
women.
yeah, so
Okay.
I had lots of Port Authority police officers and having them deal with 9/11 things and then, veterans that come back from.
Okay,
combat.
so because you're dealing with men mostly, there is this woodworking uh, one on ClickBanks, and it's got a gravity score of 153, which is pretty high. And the extra
Woodworking.
version is only $56, but that's still decent. And so that might work because I could see a lot of your clientele potentially. Or you'll end up with women who are like, oh, I'm looking for something for my husband, and this might be something he could. So it might be one, it's called Ted's Woodworking. So you might want to check it out.
That one's been one of the
Yes.
better ones for years. When I went on to ClickBank 2 or 3 years ago, it was a leading one winner.
Okay.
And also you could pitch it as this product can help guys with therapy because I mean dealing with coping with combat issues because it helps distract them. Like maybe you
Mhm.
could think of an angle where I don't know for you, but for me, creative work like that helps me calm down and I can then focus and like there's your meditation lead in, or your whatever music therapy that you want to
Idle
do.
hands are the work of the.
Yeah.
Well, that was the other thing. I was like, I should go into sort of kind of like the gardening things too, because if this is what I like doing with my like kindergarten classes and stuff was build like cute little hypertufa pots with a fairy garden.
Oh, cute.
So I was like, maybe they have something like that where they could make their own little tiny garden zen whatever.
You know what's
Whatever.
kind of nice about, thinking about both options? If you remember the call on Thursday, Adam talked about we can set up a separate DIY tracks and have multiple different kinds of ads going. Now, obviously, you got to get one going profitably before you move another one or you're out of funds. But what I like about it is the ability to target very specific demographics. So if you're doing Ted's work woodworking, you're going to specifically be targeting it with a unique spin. A guy who's been through trauma, age whatever, 45 or whatever your age range is going to be. Very specific who needs an outlet for that trauma to just to kind of process it through woodworking. So your lead magnet could be something very specific to your niche that ties in the connection between woodworking and very targeted to your audience. It's like if you speak to everyone, they don't hear you. Nobody hears you. But if you speak very specific to that one person, you've been through war, you wake up with night sweats, you have, pain from the combat you faced. You're making a very specific targeted person and you're really speaking to that. And then you tie it in with your lead magnet tied in with a product offer. I think that would win. I really do. I think it's a really good way to go about it. And then your sequence of emails, this is what I'm studying. I'm still integrating, like I'm learning how to do this, and I've got some chat documents to help. And then we're going to go to free ad copy too, because you can actually expand those email concepts out with awesome marketing frameworks that are already in free ad copy. But what I want to do is use chat to help us brainstorm the products that are going to mesh best with this offer, as well as a tie into your offer as a back end approach. So I gave you the product promise template, which is really for your program. And I think you probably filled that out by now. And then I'm creating some chat prompts. I was actually working on this, how to get my kid picked up, and I've been testing it out on my stuff. And this stuff like really works well to give us a framework for emails that will follow up. And with yours, if you pick like Ted's woodworking and then put that in a bridge page with a lead magnet that's specific to that trauma war vet, wow, then we can really nail down, we'll create like a new product promise document that will be more specific to the Ted's working and that lead magnet that we're doing. So it'll pivot those emails a little different, but each with ConvertKit, we can set up a sequence of emails specific to our lead magnet. And then those emails, after they go through that series, can then tie into the regular series, because you're going to frame them and prepare them to get your other offers in the process. So it's really versatile what we can do with ConvertKit. You don't have to go, this is my only lead magnet, or this is my only email sequence. You can actually create one for your program and then tie in a transition one with Clickbank and the offer there, and then trying to sell, let's say, 5 to 7 emails over the coming week to maybe 2 weeks at the most, pushing the ClickBank offer and then tying it into an opt-in for your program or your offers that you're going to have. So it could be pretty awesome what we can do. So just think a little out of the box. I mean, you're targeting the war vet who needs some therapy outlet through woodworking, is an incredible angle that I don't think anybody else on who might be looking at that offer is necessarily marketing right now. So you have the advantage of being a first mover, if you will, with your lead magnet. So
Too funny. I was trying to steer away from it and it just sort of kind of gets up
There's
back in.
another program I researched I thought was really cool, and it's for OCD, and like a schooling one that you could tie in with yours, because the odds are if somebody's suffering from OCD, they might know a vet that's suffering from anxiety, or look at your program and go, oh, maybe I want to do hers instead, right? Like for you, it's a win-win. Just an idea.
Yeah. It's funny that you mentioned that, because somebody goes, you do really well with OCD people too. And I was like, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Because yeah, it's like, okay, the recheck and the recheck and the recheck,
No,
check,
but
check,
this
and
I'm
the
talking a click. This is a ClickBank offer.
oh, so they have a OCD thing too. Oh my
Yep.
gosh, you're so good. I was like, I got overwhelmed with just like looking at 5 of them and went, oh
It's
bother.
it's new, so unfortunately it doesn't have a really good. But the guy that's promoting, oh, sorry, my camera's not on because I'm eating. The guy that's promoting it is all over YouTube. So like
The British dude,
I don't know if he's
is it
British.
Breathworks?
Geez, you know what?
Is it called Breathworks? Because it's like it's to get people to stop overthinking.
I don't know. The
It's
YouTube
reset.
channel is OCD and anxiety. It's a little, he's a little white dude. I don't know how else to describe him. He's got a little bit of scruff on his face, and um, but yeah,
OCD and what?
and anxiety. And so I think it was like possibly breathing techniques, but I'm just like trying to stick within
Yeah,
your
well,
parameters. But I think it was a newer one. But anyways, when I researched, went on the back end and actually looked at it, um, the guy is all over YouTube. Like he's got I think he's got over 300,000 followers.
Right.
So
It's,
that's a
yeah,
great,
it's Breathworks.
okay. Okay. So
It's
with this,
almost learning how to hyperventilate,
okay.
and takes you to a different place where you could, your brain like almost like over oxygenates, and then it
So it's a pattern
makes you
break.
be,
It's a pattern.
yep.
Okay. But anyways,
um
that's on ClickBanks, right? So that does
I
fall
know.
into
Well, I
Adam's.
looked at that and went, "Oh my God. That's sort of kind of dangerous to be doing, by yourself." And yeah, because I've been through a lot of different modalities just because of the fact that I really wanted to find out as much as I can to put in my tool chest. It was just Breathworks. They're like, "Oh, you would be good at that." And I was like, well, watching 2 sessions through, watching what people go through and this and that, some of it is very violent, like thrashing and all that kind of stuff. You need to have somebody who's going to actually support you with all the proper pillows and stuff like that, because of the fact
So,
that
but Meg, this is a perfect tie-in. So you could lead them into your program. Like if you end up, that's the front end, but they end up going to your program instead, you still win, right? So you're
this is
utilizing,
what's possible if you go the wrong route.
so
That's a
Let's
good
go
way.
the
That's a good
gentle
angle.
way.
Yeah,
like
no,
Sorry.
that's a good angle.
because you could literally on the your bridge page be like, okay, you can look at this program. This is kind of a do-it-yourself program, but if you really want help and you want it,
You're so good.
then and then you lead into you, and yet you follow Adam's protocols. So, am I wrong,
Wow.
Christy?
If they buy that and they have issues, okay, that's
And you collect their email and say, "Oh, if it's okay, I'll put you on my email so I can check in and send you like how you doing and you can respond. And if it's not going well, we can connect." Like you can really build from that. And it's
oh.
clientele that want to work with
I
you.
could just see myself get sued by the dude because of the fact that I took his clientele. No, sorry.
But well, you're not
You're not.
because what you're doing is he's the Walmart greeter for you. That's what all it is. He's literally standing and being the Walmart greeter, and then you're going into the store and buying what you want. That's it. You're not stopping people from buying his program. You're just saying, hey, if you like how this looks, take a look at this.
Yeah.
This is one up.
This is how we tie into the products. So in the case you got your competition out there,
That's
and
right.
it's a do yourself, and there's a risk. I really love going the risk route because
Mm-hmm.
there's always the objections. And so play into those objections. I'm doing the same thing with mine, is what are the objections people have? And mine is making money online through these jobs that are offered through ClickBank. But how do you know if it's a fake or not? And I have a specific lead magnet that I've drafted already a lot of notes. I haven't actually put it together yet, but it's specifically to those objections. How, here's a video that explains some of the jobs that are available nowadays, but how can you test those jobs to determine if they're legitimate or not? And so I'm going to pitch with my bridge page to that offer on ClickBank a document that they can download. I wrote it down. Yeah, there it is. I came up with a name for it. Oh, yeah, don't get scammed. Will be the headline. How to see how to spot a fake online job.
Okay.
So
And mine is from setback to comeback.
yeah, in your
Embrace.
case, you could talk about, yeah, you want to do the from to, that's good. But for like in the bridge page part, you're gonna put your embed form. So you're not taking people off the page, but you're gonna put your email embed form and your offer, and you're gonna say be in leading into it, there are many guides out there to help you with whatever it is, whatever the therapy is. But here's a way. But do you know the dangers of those kinds of therapies? And that's where your lead magnet can come in. Now, the one thing is I don't see the connection with the, with Ted's worded working offer. I think that has to be a different lead magnet. But for, trying to deal with your competition, you could definitely do something like that. You've probably seen, and maybe not feature this guy because you don't want to show his images. You don't want to like talk him down. You say, you probably, if you've been out there at all looking for their solution for OCD, you've probably seen people out there who teach something like this, and then you would basically give your own version of what they've taught. So that way you're not like going to get sued because you're not mentioning him by name. You're not specifically targeting him. What are the benefits and what is the drawbacks of a self-help? Maybe it works for you, but if you don't do something right, here's what could happen, and you could tell your own story. And how do you avoid that? There's your lead magnet to avoid something happening if you don't have a guided therapist working with you. That would be a totally different angle for a different ad at a different point. But this is all the possibilities of thinking outside your niche to think of ways to get leads in. And from those leads, what else can you build into that platform? So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, well, I just think it's really nifty how it went from rise, reclaim, redefine, and then a friend of mine is like, well, what was the other thing that she was like? I think that you should really work with people who have anxiety because right now there's so many people with anxiety, it's not even funny. And what? Oh gosh. Let me give me a second because she chat GPT, she knows how to do all this chat GPT thing, and she like did it so fast. And I was like, wait, I'm trying to focus on rise, reclaim, redefine. And she's like, no, I got this. And then so she it's so she changed it up to balance, breakthrough, transformation, expedition.
That's
And I
still
was
good.
like, and she goes, and you are perfect for it because then you could do a 21-day challenge, like, and then and go step by step by step by step, and you and like, and then she wrote out like a prompts for 21-day emails with the chat GPT. Um,
Meg, I
she's
like
like
your 3 R's. I think it's a better branding. The other one, I can't even remember what you said, but the rise,
balance
rebuild.
breakthrough.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
because,
you could, here's the thing, you could play into that with another product on an email sequence.
yeah,
And like,
So you could say, okay, so if you're not in pain, but you have to deal with anxiety, I got the balance breakthrough.
mhm.
yeah,
Well, and here's
So
another
it,
thing that I'm doing on my platform that it's, and I'm hearing this because I'm in both groups, right, of building courses and working with different entrepreneurs who are launching their programs. And this one that I'm doing specifically towards the Convert Kit and all the integrations there. And then we had a gal, she had 26 people who were interested in her program. She just launched and only one person signed up. Well, thankfully, she got one person. The other people shared, it's not always that you have a lot of people. So it can be very discouraging too because it's a high ticket price point. Hers was like $5,000 thereabout. And when you try to sell something like that, most of the people that were objecting, they love her emails she was nurturing that list really well. But they're like, we don't have the money. And it's very hard to commit to that. High ticket is having a hard time with economy, as you can imagine, selling those kinds of programs. So the suggestion that they had, and I've been thinking about this myself, is to do kind of a both and strategy. So what I'm doing is I'm going to have my high ticket build your base website and all the, like tech support that I'm doing. Plus, I have this idea of building an actual template site that Justin could push into people's account, jump them into, here's your site. You just download, get your domain, and then I have something pre-built so that jumping into my program, it just gets them launched quicker. And so those are the things I'm thinking of. But again, the price point, I'm not going to do 5,000, but it will be, up there. And so several thousand. I haven't settled 100%. So what I want to do is offer an addition complimentary to this program. It is the actual modules for building your TikTok shops, building out your KDP book to build your authority. You want to get t-shirts going. Here's some do's and don'ts if you're going to run ads, because I don't know that part yet, but I'm learning. And there's just a lot of things to like get things launched. And so as I'm learning it, I build a workshop on it, release that, and only the people who are in my membership get access to this additional content that will be, I'll be pitching the content in my email sequence that people sign up, get my lead magnet, but they may not be ready to jump into coaching, right? But they might want to do the workshops every month. And then the workshops complement very well the website build, because you're going to want to have both at some point. And so I thought, well, I'll do $50 a month for somebody who's on a budget. They can buy into that monthly program. And if they buy a whole year, it's $500 for the year. So they get 2 months free. So it's all this pitching it to affordable amounts. Maybe somebody wants to DIY their own website using my modules that are free online. They could totally do that. They get stuck technically. Okay, maybe I do want to do coaching. But in the meantime, they could get all of these other modules for $500 for the year. And if they buy my coaching program, they get $1,000 off my coaching program. So to incentivize them buying the monthly workshops. And as they're going through the workshops, they're getting to know me and my personality, and oh, I love this stuff I'm learning. And yeah, I can see how this would work well with a website. I can see why I would want a website. And so I sell my coaching program for actually building all the technical and the email sequencing, which is going to be part of my coaching. I'm not releasing that for free, but
Well, and
all of
then
it.
there's you can do payment plans too, right? Like,
Yes.
so
Yeah.
say your coaching plan is $29.99, so $2,999, right? Because you're not
Yeah.
going to do an even number because of mental, right? Oh, I'm only
Yeah.
paying $2,000, even though you're like 1 cent off of. But you could do, like you pay whatever that breaks out to over 12 months,
Mhm.
you know, or upfront, it's this price. You tack on an extra $500 for them to make monthly
To
payments,
do the monthly. Yeah.
right? And I mean, that's
Yeah.
a good way to do it too, right?
Yep. And so, and I'm thinking, getting something, I'm calling it jumpstart your influence, because the whole idea of teaching people how to create an influencer platform for their products, and jumpstart, you get a website, almost done for you, just at least getting it started. You build your template and do what you want to, but then you build your content, but you get the framework and like all these little pieces that be worth it for somebody who's just like, I'm struggling. I don't do tech. Okay, well, with me, we could do it and we'll knock it
Well,
out.
if you need a dummy person to like help with videos or commercials or something, I'm all in. Where do
Yeah,
I
I
put the
mean,
doohickey?
I'm
Where do I
studying.
put the doohickey?
So what you do for like your video reviews and building long form content on YouTube is totally different than the way you market on TikTok. And I'm learning that, like, I'm studying it and I'm like, okay. So there would be a completely separate workshop to push your brand on TikTok versus the YouTube. And that's another whole, okay, this month we're doing YouTube, next month we're doing TikTok, next month we're doing whatever it is, Reels and Instagram. That's another whole format. Although they relate, there are unique ways that you tag, and it's a whole, so I'm thinking, how can I add to my base program with all these modules that can be built into a monthly reoccurring revenue stream that people can get access
The
to.
other thing too is like um offer like one Zoom call a month and that $50, right? Where it's like, hey, question and answers with Christy,
Mhm.
like you live,
Yeah.
email them in 24 hours before, right? So you
Yep.
don't get
There's
slammed
the, well,
with
they'll
stupid,
get the, see, I'm
but
building like the mini courses off of the email. So they buy into the email system and they're paying monthly. They can get the modules. I've thought about, Go High Level I have right now. I'm not sure I'm going to keep it. I'm debating. But the disadvantage of Go High Level, it's complicated. And so when you go into the platform, like where are my lessons? You got to
yeah,
teach them how to find it, which is kind of
yeah.
annoying. And then the second piece I don't really like about it, besides the cost, is that they get access to everything at once. You could drip feed it, but still, it's like They
Have
can
you
get
heard,
there.
Christy, have you heard of Scribe?
No, but I know a lot of other ones, but not that one. But
Okay. Okay, because it follows you while you do something and it records you
oh, okay.
and it breaks it out into a lesson.
Nice. Oh,
Eh,
that's nice.
So yeah, I've seen advertisements all over the place for it, and I'm pretty sure it's called Script or Scribed or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah, my
literally
friend's doing that, and she's doing really well with
My
the grief recovery program.
it's
yeah.
basically to help like SOPs like for
Huh?
employers, but your course is kind of like that, right? It
A little
really
bit.
is.
The part that's going to be hard to teach is I'm still learning. So I need to get it working. And once I have it working, then I can model it. So
Yeah.
that's the part where like I kind of like the idea of editing and doing my video and then being able to bring in my results because to try to scribe it through is it makes sense for a coaching program like Meg because she's just talking and sharing her experiences and maybe bring somebody on the call who's been through your program giving a
It's
testimony.
not so much the talking, it's it records what you're doing on the computer.
Hmm.
It's like all the like the whatever buttons you touch and everything. Like
Yeah, I
it's
got that on my Wondershare can do all that. So I
okay.
can, yeah, I can do that part, but I just don't know because I'm still learning how to use ConvertKit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like I'm building
yeah,
this, I'm like, why did that not work? It's like I'm not gonna film right now because I don't know what I'm doing yet. But
yeah, yeah,
once I get it figured out, then I can refilm that whole module and there'll be pieces I'm not going to include on my free side because I
yeah,
want like the strategy behind building this email sequence is gonna be that's what you pay for, and you guys get it
yeah,
because you're my guinea pigs.
yeah.
You're my
Well,
pilot program.
the thing that yeah, well, ChatGPT is like my friend was here before, I mean today for dinner and whatever, and she was like, "Okay, let's just type this all in." And she was able to get like social media posts that you could put on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and I was like, "Oh." And she goes, "Why is your LinkedIn not as set up as a business?" And I'm like, "I don't know." She's like, "Blah blah 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 blah, do this, do that." And I was
He's
like,
a good
"Wait, wait,
friend.
wait." But yeah, so she helped me write out the social media post for this and motivational Monday and motivation because you know how I do my cute little collages every day and I
I was gonna
plop it
call them
on.
scrapbooking pages, but yeah.
Yeah. And I do that for my clients all the time just to say this is just your daily reminder. And she's like, I know you're very visual and you like to cut and paste, but let's put them to words. And she's like, do it motivational Monday, nature and
Oh, nice.
sunrise image, blah, 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 blah. And feeling stuck, do this. Blah, 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 blah. I was like,
It's good.
uh yeah.
Yeah.
And then she writes little blips into Chat GPT, and the next thing you know, it just like blah, 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 blah. And I was like, how'd you get it to understand you? Because for me, they're like, what the? Chat GPT is like so confused with me. And she was able to make it understand. And she goes, you can't say what you call it to it. It just doesn't understand you. Like you have to learn how to spell right because it doesn't understand your spelling. She was like looking at all my things and going,
Oh,
what?
what a great friend. That's you need somebody to kind of walk with you through some of that. It's like you were getting stuck in the weeds a little bit. So,
So yeah, so I have all these like suggestions how to put it up because I was like complaining, I don't know how to get more email addresses. And she's like, you need to post more. And I was like,
she's great.
and she goes, well, you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. And you spend all that time making a collage. Just do this.
sometimes that's kind of what we need. Like I get a little stuck in my ways. I have my system, but then I have things I'm trying to learn right now. I'm just like, oh my gosh, my head spins. I've watched these folks and what they're doing, and I'm like, okay, well, one thing at a time, because the hardest part is trying to do it all at the same time. And like I
And
really
that's my biggest issue.
yeah, I should be posting on Instagram, posting on TikTok. I just opened up a TikTok account today and started looking at I actually got some of my videos cut down, but I need to do more cut down for TikTok format. So I've got it where I could throw it up on my reels with YouTube, but there's a certain format I'm learning about that I got to start testing and trying, and it's a little bit of a learning curve for everything. And I'm like, I can't launch it all at once. So, one piece at a time. I'm going to be focusing on Sheraton right now because I know a lot of you guys are limited on time. Alyssa and I can hang out for a while, but some of the rest of you guys are going to be like, you only have these few months to really use Adam's sources. And for you, Megan, and myself, I mean, I only got the ad spend right now from Adam, from being able to do that. So I'm like, I got a very limited budget. So I'm going to be focusing 100% right now on the ChatGPT prompts to kind of guide you and anybody else who wants to try building this back end. Pick your product. Let's get the lead magnet going. Let's you know, bring it to the calls and say, "Hey, I built this. What do you think?" Get feedback because that's what our community is for. And then, maybe you're stuck on how to put the form into the bridge page. I showed that on one of my videos, but I went through it quick. It's really pretty easy, but you got to design it in ConvertKit. So you might get stuck on the design part. And so those are the things that we got to have the lead magnet to be able to make a form because you're going to bring your image in and you don't have an image yet because you don't have a lead magnet because you haven't picked a product. So we got to kind of like, I picked a product. I've been playing with these things. I'm with a chat right now. I've got something kind of working to give all the ideas of products I can drop in to sell in addition on an upsell with my program. I want to build that in, then build my lead magnet and the sequence for the product that I'm promoting with Clickbank so that I can tie the two together from one sequence of emails to the next sequence. But I don't have anything done. Like, so it's like I've got a lot of things I'm building, just I'm like refining things as I go along. And this two-way of monetization, one being a platform, they pay monthly, they get these workshops pre-recorded in one Zoom call a week. I think that's excellent, Alyssa. And I've been thinking the same thing, for Q&A on those workshops would be a really good way to go. And the second part would
But
be,
not an individual, like a group
yes, it
Zoom
would
call,
be a group.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah. And I
exactly.
would only do like once or twice a month. I wouldn't even do once a week. I would save that for your
Oh yeah,
client ticket.
yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Once a month with the workshop, but the workshop, because it's going to drop on email and it could be a different workshop for somebody else who gets on my email list later than somebody else. So it could be any workshop question. So I leave it as Q&A. I like that idea
Mhm.
because I was like, how do I tie the two together? I can't really. People are dropping into this email sequence at any point. And so the modules are, even though I'll have a set of modules, they're going to be on a different one.
But a
But
Q&A format is great. Like, what are
yeah,
your questions? What are you working on? What can I help you with? Bring
exactly.
them to
And
me.
because my programs, all these mini courses can be done independently. They don't have to be done in a series.
Yeah.
TikTok is, or you could just do YouTube or whatever course they decide to do.
But we
They
all
push it.
know no matter how paint by number we make it, people are going to get lost. People aren't going to get it, right? There's going to be
Yep.
something they'll miss, or there's going to be something,
Yeah.
this way they just feel like they have that extra safety net. Oh, okay, if there's something I have a question on, I can
The
jump on the
Q&A
Zoom
call for
call.
this month, and that'll be a broadcast email I'll throw out. Q&A
Yeah.
call for any workshop questions. I love it. Yeah, because that was a piece I wasn't quite sure how to tie that together, but it makes sense if I get everything recorded and then the homework and whatever section of the month, whatever month they're on, they're going to have access to that. So, yeah, so that'll keep them engaged, keep them paying hopefully monthly because they're going to like the value they're getting with these emails. And
Mm-hmm.
there's a two-fold process I learned with ConvertKit. You can have the emails promoting the workshops as a separate sequence from the emails that actually deliver the workshops. And the
Oh,
advantage,
nice.
of the way ConvertKit works is you can have an automation set that when they move from one platform to the other platform, it
Wow.
automatically kicks them out, retakes them, kicks them out of the one sequence to go into the other. So they pay whenever the second they pay for whatever, the monthly or the whatever, that is when they get moved over.
That's an interactive CRM. Holy.
Oh, I love it. This
Yeah.
ConvertKit, I think it's going to solve a lot of my issues when I was trying to do things on my own WordPress platform. And then I looked at Go High Level. I'm like, the only piece I haven't figured out is when people stop paying, I may have to manually go in to remove them because I haven't figured out an automation to automatically remove them. But Go High Level doesn't have that either. So, and I'm just like, go high level is for, well, with the training. Okay, so I'm paying for training. I'm paying for
Because they don't stop sending, like, even for me, when I stop to go high level, I'm still getting all the emails from them and until I hit unsubscribe. And I think that's the only way you can do it is the
yeah.
unsubscribe, which is not a bad thing because they might change their mind in time and come back.
Yeah. My thing is, I just need to get the costs down so
Hmm.
that I can run this thing with a very thin budget right now because I can't launch until I can't do that. I am thankful though, Meg. Remember I told you, I was like, how am I going to pay for all these workshops I've already bought, the training? And Adam had the issue where I couldn't stay on as a coach, right? So at least right now financially. So I was like, what am I going to do? And I told Meg, I was like believing the scripture that says that given it will be given to you, pressed down, shaking together, will he pour into your lap? And I'm like, so I believe this is going to happen. Well, the very next day after I sent that message, I got a notice on how much refund I'm going to get on my taxes, and it pays for all the workshops I just bought. So here's what happened. I had so much loss. I had to close down my S corp because of that drop shipping thing didn't work out.
Yeah.
And so I'm closing it down. The operating fees, everything is just ridiculous. So I had to take all my losses in 1 year. So that boosted up my what I thought I was getting back. I'm like, yes, Lord, you're paying for my courses that I bought.
Hallelujah. You got her.
See how he does it? He just
Yeah.
surprises me. So
Yep.
it's just a real blessing. So, we live by faith, not by sight. And, if you feel like God's leading you in a direction, that's what he says, ask, seek, and knock. And to everyone who asks, receives. Who knocks, the door is open. It's not everyone who thinks they might ask, so they wait for the door to be open. No, you got to knock first. You got to,
Mhm.
and I think that's what God is showing me in this whole thing. It's like, I feel called to come here and try my program out and help people in the process. And even if I'm not getting paid, the Lord's going to provide. And look at what He does, So I just thought that was really cool. So Meg, you see, God does it. He always comes through.
Well, think about, like I got let go December 10th
Hmm.
and Friday, December 12th, I had all these flavor companies like come back and say, we heard you got let go. And I was like, wait, but I just told Christy that I'm gonna really go full-fledged on like working on my whatever. So I picked the one that was, for maternity leave. So it's a temp position versus a real position where I would have had to go back to work instead of, staying remote. So,
Nice.
you know, God goes, this is the way you have to do. And then, the whole clientele thing, I was like, I want to really want to go with this. And it's like, well, I'm giving you back the veterans. And I'm like, oh, okay. I will not argue.
Yeah. Well, I think that Alyssa's idea of doing the woodworking is a really great tool because
Yeah, so I have
that
to
is your
look at
audience.
that.
Yeah. And I know it's a good seller. It's been a good seller for years. I've heard about it in other programs, like I said. So, I mean, for years. So, talk about something that if it converts well for you and your angle really takes off with Adam's network, I mean, maybe this will really boost your income so much so that hey, I don't have to leave Sheridan. I'll just keep paying the whatever 200 because you might be making so much with this front end offer that you don't want to change
It
anything.
might be the woodwork that actually brings in the money because I don't have the heart to take money from veterans.
Yeah, well,
Well,
that
you gotta get over
who
that.
knows? Who knows? Yeah, it's kind of
No,
like
it's a
my
they,
clientele. I'm helping moms who don't have any money make money online, but we'll see. While I'm trying to learn how to make money online too at the same time. So I've been watching some really incredible stories. This gal that got on the TikTok shops and got monetized in 2 months and made 13,000 in 1 week. And another gal who it was 2 months, she was on her 50th video and nothing was taken off. And she got banned because there was some sort of hold on her account because she said something wrong in a video, compliance and whatever. And so she's like about to give up. And I said I was going to do 50 emails, or 50 videos. She did her 50th video and she said, if this doesn't work, I'm giving up. And it made 165,000 in 2 months. And this just happened March of last year. I'm like, okay, Lord, I get that. I need to keep digging into I need to get this thing going and maybe it'll happen for me too. So I might just do that. Take what I'm learning. I can't buy every
and
program under the sun. I wish I could, but I'm learning a lot as much as I can. And I'm
well,
rubbing
one of the
shoulders
things
with
is,
others.
oh, did Eli say something? Or
No, go ahead.
no, I was just thinking, it's really, really, you have to you have to follow, like listen and listen and listen because so many things are like always like guiding you all the time. And and if you're in that I can't, there's no way that you could hear it. So that's the thing that I'm always constantly trying to motivate people left and right, right and left. Even as a temp too, they're like, you know, are you a coach? And I was like, no, not really. And they're
Yes,
like,
Spencer. Yeah, you are. Yes, you are.
Yeah.
and then I was like, I'm not really a coach, but I'm a natural teacher. Like I taught kindergarten, so I'm always like sort of kind of like the goofy side. And I think that that works with the veterans also because of the fact that I'll make it lighthearted, and say, I hear you say can again. What are we gonna say? They're like, I'll try. You're like, okay, let's go.
Yep.
But
It sometimes those little words can make a huge difference in the motivation and in the way you show up. It really affects you. The things we say to ourselves, it's huge.
It's funny, I was reading scripture and it discusses how on a boat, something as small as the rudder drives the largest boat, something as small as a bit drives a horse, and your tongue, as small as it is, drives everything in your life.
It
And
is.
so I have to remember that all the time because yeah, my verbiage is something I have to continuously work on. And so yeah,
Oh, it's
that
so
one
true.
it really hit me when I read it. I think I can't remember if it was
It was in James. That would be
is it
James
James?
chapter 3, I think. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. See, I don't have the Bible memorized like you. I know when I read a scripture and it like registers, I can remember the gist of it, but not like where it is and all that yet.
Oh,
And there's
I
only
tell you.
66 books to remember.
He instructs me a lot, with these
Yeah,
scriptures that I might not have thought of it that way, but then I'll be doing something and then I'm like, oh, that reminds me of this scripture. And like
yeah.
the more
you
you,
must have a photographic memory.
I'm
Who?
not visual, but I'm very
Christy?
auditory. And so I used to drive to work listening to the scripture, chapter by chapter, verse by verse. And I started a program for myself early when I started doing cult ministry. My dad was like, you need to spend more time reading the Bible than you are reading those cult books. I'm like, okay, so you don't get confused. So I challenged myself to memorize whole chapters of the Bible. I can't quote it like I
Wow.
used to, but I can't tell you how many times something will happen and the scripture will be like, oh, and there's so many scriptures that like you just don't see it when you just read the passage, but
Yeah,
something will happen in your life and it'll be like God's like it's like he instructs you. And he
yeah,
instructs you in your bed at night, in motivation, meditation in his word in the morning, and I'll listen to something on the radio, some preacher, and they'll say the verse a different way. Like, even though it's the same verse, I've read a zillion times, but I'll like, oh, that's the answer I was looking for. Like, the thought will be just what I need for this specific problem in my life. It's just so amazing. Really amazing. I love the
And
way God.
I'm more of the let's think of the brain-based learning kind of thing. So every quote and everything, you have to figure out ways to say it so that other people could understand it. And that's the big thing. I've been so really blessed in the sense that God was like, you know, grandpa is a big Buddhist leader, but you could go visit catechism and you could go to Hebrew school and go and I had so many, well, growing up in California, there's everything. So I got to go to this church and that. And I was like, huh. It's all the same.
Well, I
Thinking
would
wanting
say,
from a little kid, but
yeah, there's the principles that work are all come from God's word. Ultimately they spin them differently in the different religions, but the principles and everything give thanks, for this is the will of God concerning you. Well, people call that the universe, put it out to the universe. Well, what are you doing? You're giving thanks, staying positive. I mean, that's new age philosophy, but where they get it, giving thanks and everything. So,
and then for the science people, you
yeah.
have to always say it by energy. This table is filled with all the atoms and whatever, and all a thought is a molecular whatever.
Well,
Just
even
to
yeah, even the
you
thought.
have to,
Where did it come
yeah,
from? Well, there was a God
huh?
creator who created the order of things in the universe. He created the laws, but
So,
scientific laws are not tangible
but
things.
that's the way that I'm like, okay, verbiage, figure it
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
Listen to what somebody says, and then boom.
yep,
That's pretty much my theme is like figuring out the what most individual way to get somebody to move forward. And
yeah.
that's
But ultimately, as a Christian, I believe what Jesus said, no one comes to the Father but through me. He's the way, the truth, and the life. So while all truth comes from him, when it goes out into the other religions and they're trying to spin, you got to have, another religious leader to interpret it for you. They're putting man in front between you and God. So the Bible says there's only one God and one mediator between man and God. That's Jesus Christ. So we come to the Father through him. And so I noticed that, like, there's a lot of truth in a lot of religions, but what Satan tries to do is he tries to twist that one point,
oh
and
yeah.
not to look at the one who is the truth and get you to look at your works. Your works weighing out your good and your bad works. Every religion out there says that. Jesus is the only one who says, I am the way, the truth. Whoever believes in me will never die. And there's only one trust you can put in. You put your trust in Christ. And so many people are stuck in the fear of death because they're trying to see if their good works are going to be good enough. And the Bible says all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. So that you fall short in any other religion and when it comes to getting to God. So Satan says, okay, let's pull out the truths of the way life works, and we'll throw those into the package, and then he packages the lie in with it. Oh yeah, you could just go to the Buddhist monk or the whatever Catholic Church Pope and confess your sins and you're all good. And all these people are trying to insert themselves, and if no one comes to the Father but through Christ alone, that's where the counterfeit happens. It traps people spiritually. So because then they can't get that eternal life that only Christ can give. So that's, as a Christian, I'm saying, yes, find the truth in different systems, but bring it back to where the source is, and that's only in Christ that we can be free. So yeah.
Well, for me, I when I into like got baptized and stuff, I'm more recent than not. And I was shocked when I started hearing people speak and talk about different scripture and reading it myself. I spent easy 6 figures on personal development, like easy. And like that's Tony Robbins we're talking,
Yeah.
Brendan Burchard. I've met Brendan Burchard in person. Like
Oh, they're
all
good.
these, like yeah, like front row Tony Robbins, like all of this, right? Trying to heal and trying to rebuild myself. When it hit me about a year after I was baptized and I was reading the Bible and I went, wow, I could have bought a $90 Bible and saved myself six figures. Just I was just literally bam. I was like, I'm reading, and as I'm reading it, I'm like, oh, here's Tony Robbins' program right here. Here's, like I'm just like they were just coming out of the book, and I was just like, wow. So yeah,
That's what I mean. It's just being able to reach all these different ways, and hopefully they find the source. But in the meantime, what can I do to help?
yeah,
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
that's a very sort of kind of twisted kind of way of doing things, but
no,
it's being as pure as I can be.
mhm,
Well, that's why I say, even so it says in the scriptures, the Lord will give, or the Father will give the Holy Spirit to those who ask him. And there's another verse that says Jesus said he had to go away because the Father was going to send his Holy Spirit, and he will teach you all things and bring all things to your remembrance. What and so when you open your mind and your heart to Christ and ask him to give you his Holy Spirit, that's where the power comes in. Because all of a sudden the word, as you read it, connects the dots, and all of a sudden things start to make sense that didn't make sense before, or what you're going to do in your life. I've had things where, like, I memorized the scripture, like I would read it before I go to bed, because there's something about when you go to bed with something, your mind processes it overnight, and your subconscious, it gets into your subconscious. And I've had things where I've had a problem, wake up the next morning, there's the solution. And like a scripture will pop in my mind that I wasn't thinking of when I went to bed, but I woke up in the morning with a new insight, because overnight he instructed me while I was sleeping. And I think there's a scripture on how he will, what does he say? Give ear to my words, O Lord, and consider my meditation. Or early in the morning, I'm paraphrasing it, but it's in the Psalms where David goes and he says, early in the morning, I will seek you. And like, this is what really impressed me about. I saw some video on this, so I think it was Theta Wave or something. Like, I don't get into the new age much, but what really hit me was they said that right before you go to sleep and when you wake up, when you're going in between the state of you're wide awake, you're conscious, and then to where you're sleeping, there's like a state that your brain goes through that where you're like almost able to connect to, and you would say energy, probably. I don't know what they called it. It probably was that. I don't know. But it was like you're able to connect dots, and like your creative brain is able to reach new heights in problem solving just for the 5 minutes before you go to sleep and when you wake up. Well, I was like going, huh. And then I was thinking about those scriptures about, early in the morning. And I'm like, that explains why right before I go to sleep, I'll be thinking about stuff and my mind will go into this creative state. And in the morning, I have all these ideas and solutions, when I am meditating on God's word. So I would encourage, maybe you're open to all kinds of ideas. So maybe you want to start reading the Psalms or the Proverbs, or, different passages of the Bible. Those are really good for insight. And then Romans, I just love Romans. And that one's more for how to live your life as a Christian, and, who Jesus is and all of that sorted out in Romans. And John, the story of Christ and what he taught in parables, so many analogies in there, so many analogies in the parables of Christ. So, I just started through just submersing my mind, and like I would go out in the garden, and it would take a long time to clean my fish tanks for the hydroponics and all the aquaponics, 2 hours every weekend. And so I would put my little MP3 player on, and you can get a Bible app now. It's called the Bible app. You can just pick a chapter of the Bible and just let it play through. And I would be listening to the word, and like so many things would like be connected, and I would like listen for hours because I was doing something boring, and it would be more interesting because I was listening to the word that way. And just doing that makes me more susceptible to hit the Holy Spirit teaching me now, because he'll say, remember that verse? Oh yeah, that's what I want you to do right here. And it may not be I mean, the verse will teach a principle that I can apply to whatever it is that I'm trying to do. And like I
So
have conversations with people that
it's
this.
funny that you said or are saying this about sleep. So I met a guy who's a genius, like a certified genius, and he actually, because he's not a huge sleeper, so he gets about 4 hours, 5 hours sleep a night. But what he does is he plays books. He puts in headphones and he listens to a book every night. And
Mhm.
he's like, he goes, you don't think that you're taking it in, but he goes, you're taking more in listening to that book while you're sleeping than if you're
Wow.
reading it while you're awake, because your subconscious is more powerful. And I was like, I tried it, but I couldn't get headphones that were more comfortable enough to, I'm a
Yeah.
side sleeper and they would hurt my ears, eh? But so I've been trying to find ones that like almost like hearing aids or something that'll go right in your ear,
Hmm.
but I haven't found anything yet.
Yeah, I don't know. And for me, I like to have my conscious mind to test everything that I'm reading to like verify it. And I don't know, I haven't tried that, but what I do just before I go to bed is read the passage of scripture. And when I was memorizing, I would read a chapter 3 times before bed, and 3 times at lunch, and then 3 times, in the morning when I woke up. For it's that first morning and going to sleep. If you want to learn anything, that's the way to do it too. Like piano, I play piano. And so I play before I go to bed at a tough spot, go and wake up in the morning and I can play the spot better that I'm trying to learn in a piece of music. So it really does work. Something about that morning and nighttime and wake up. And during the night, he may be right about the subconscious. I just don't know. I can't play it with, in the house, it'll wake me up for one. I use my alarm music as my alarm, so any sound will wake me up. So but yeah, I think that's a really good idea. And if you find some headphones that you can sleep with and doesn't get falling out in your ears at night, I wonder how that does.
It's
So,
not that they fell out, it's just they hurt after a while.
oh
Like
yeah,
they
they
just
do.
irritated.
Yeah, mine
But
do too.
yeah, or I need to just learn how to sleep on my back or my face. Anyways, enough about that. But
Good idea.
right, carry on.
Yeah. So anyway, well, I was working on this document. Let's see. I wonder if I can give it to you guys or not. And it might be something I'm gonna put maybe in the post with the program afterward, like I did last time. I gave you guys the product framework. And this one incorporates the product framework with 3 pillars for a successful email. And so what I did with it is I prompted it specifically to give me 30 emails with product ideas. And so I used this framework based on this framework and then the things that you want to have in those emails, good hooks, and I gave examples in it. So it's kind of like a prompting document. You can import it into your chat GPT. You can take the document in as long along with your product framework, or you can one of the modules actually could very well just slip in the modules of your framework, whatever it is. But if you're like doing like a Clickbank product, you're going to want to look at the major bullet points of that product. What are the benefits? What does it do? How does it help you? Those are the things you're thinking benefit based, but you're also thinking in this framework what actually you're delivering. Like what is the module going to be on if it's a training course. So it might, the first one was more of a benefit based product promise, template. This one is a little bit more geared toward the modules that you're going to have in your course. And so I have to do some wording on the document just to make it real clear. But what I did is I threw in modules of my course into this section of this template for converting emails, had it list out 30 emails. I've been totally impressed. It gives kind of like the headline you'll want to do in the email, and then what the call to action would be, and then it gives an idea of a product. So you could build through ChatGPT products off of these templates. Of course, you're going to want to maybe research it a little bit because you don't want to just give a ChatGPT rehash, but you can make PDFs for these and then sell them through your email sequence. Or like I'm thinking, I could also use it as part of my buy the monthly email subscription so they can get all these products for free in the subscription. So yeah, so anyway, I just was really impressed. I thought, man, we could try that out and maybe even do something like this off of a Clickbank product too. What are 30 emails we could sequence right after pushing the specific product with our lead magnet. What would be a good lead magnet angle for something for trauma vets and woodworking? What do you think about Meg, what do you think would be a good therapeutic type document that someone could get as a free, they opt in, they get this PDF guide, and then they're a vet. What would you think? What kind of thing would it be a checklist for, can they massage themselves, or a checklist for pain or calming yourself mentally before you go to bed so you don't have night terrors?
Woodworking. I'm like, I have to check out the woodworking thing first before I could even think of what would is the woodworking things like little mini projects, or is it
Yeah.
really like making a desk and things like that?
No, they're little projects. But I'm thinking you want to do a mesh between what they would get with this product if they buy it and what they would be interested with your program. So you would pitch it with a lead magnet that's in between. So I'm like, let's brainstorm some ideas. What kind of thing, what kind of free PDF guide could you give that would go with woodworking, but like maybe a therapeutic guide for somebody who's got trauma, mental trauma, how woodworking can play into it. And then
It's just being able to accomplish something that you build that you're really proud of. So how would you spin that around to being able to take care of yourself so that you can stay calm enough to be able to achieve a good night's rest? Or
yeah. So this is where we think a little bit out of the box. We could go to ChatGPT and you want to start playing with that a little bit. What would be a good product to give to somebody who's been through trauma? And it would be a complementary guide to the woodworking type program. So they're interested in woodworking because what's the problem we're solving? We're trying to calm the mind before they go to bed. So before they go to bed, they're going to use the woodworking project to do these 5 things, is what I'm suggesting. 5 things that they would do to help calm their mind so that woodworking is good because it's a distraction from the pain. So we would talk about that as kind of your lead in, how to distract your mind from the pain the trauma you went through with these 5, I don't know if I want to use the word meditations, but 5 affirmations, maybe an affirmation guide. But see, that'll appeal to a woman more than that will appeal to guys. Guys are kind of like more hands-on tactical. So maybe 5 therapy or physical things they could do to get their hands maybe working better before they could use the tools in trying to make woodworking projects. Maybe they need some kind of an exercise, muscle tension relief, or maybe there's pain points that they can, I don't know what but like pain points that they can treat with a special tool and then if we're
right.
talking the tool, we don't want to get
Wow.
too far away from
Um,
clinic. Hmm.
yeah, most of the veterans that I have worked with are veterans that were shot on the spine. So they're paraplegic versus can't use their arms kind of thing.
Okay.
So I wouldn't I never even thought about all these pressure points and all that kind of stuff. And then I'm like going straight into, oh, my cancer clients. I always have to tell them about all the pressure points and all that kind of stuff because they're always dealing with what's that called? Numbness in their hands or whatever because of the chemotherapy and blah.
So maybe
So
woodworking would be good for your cancer patients. And then you would say cancer patients need a solution to deal with the therapy because while they're working with wood, that can be a therapeutic way of kind of stretching or
keeping the lymphatic system going, that's like
yeah.
totally totally different spin.
Well, it is a different spin, but maybe that is your audience too. So maybe we want to cater this product to that audience more, the cancer
Right.
patient, because
Um,
you could do a therapy guide to complement the
That's where I
actual.
was going to, I was thinking like we got to figure out which avatar are you trying to hit on the
Mhm.
most
yeah,
first.
yeah, that's my whole issue
Because
because
I know you want to help everybody, but you gotta, who's the biggest demographic in all the people that you can help? Is it anxiety? Is it cancer? Is it that's what I would pinpoint first.
Mhm.
Then you can take the woodworking and comply it to that angle. So if it's anxiety, for example, it's like tactical hands and how it calms your mind, right? And
mhm.
so now
Mind
doing these
calming.
simple woodworking exercises are a stepping stone to healing yourself. Keeping your hands busy allows for overwhelm to quit because you're focusing on woodworking, right? I'm just the
Oh,
very little I know about anxiety and stuff, right? Like but that's why I'm saying until you figure out that avatar, you really can't format a script because it's just
Mhm.
not going to work, right?
Right. That's why I'm like, oh, wait,
well,
wait,
that's
wait. I gotta think this.
We're trying to
Yeah.
help you think through this now so that you now have a homework assignment that you can do during the week. And you can even just dream about it tonight. And then tomorrow, write down what you think before you go to sleep. Wake up in the morning, you might have solutions. But I'm liking this idea of if you know some ways to massage your hands, get them more flexible, and tying that into a woodworking guide, now you've framed an audience for this product that maybe they hadn't even thought of woodworking, and also you're framing a good um, complementary guide to go with it. So it's a natural result of, somebody looking at your marketing going, I want that. That would definitely work with what I'm wanting to do. I want therapy for this. Cancer patients need a brain distraction when they're going through therapy and they're trying to recover from the chemotherapy. I mean, that's a pretty awful thing, so what can they do to kind of take their mind away from that? That's another angle is if you frame this for cancer patients, the woodworking can be an outlet for them as they recover because they're not going to be working a job while they're recovering, right? Something that with their hands, it might be the solution. So
Whee!
you can have a unique angle that nobody else has with your
Oh,
therapy option. I just think I could totally see this thing taken off. It might be such a good front end to your program. We get your marketing right for your other programs. You might just find, hey, I'm making good money on this now because your back end sequence is so well tailored to a demographic that's probably not being marketed on this platform. No, I think, therapy, maybe they're doing the herbal stuff, but they're not doing the therapy with woodworking. Who would have thought that angle? I love it. And that's how you become a first mover. You bought into Adam's first movers that didn't work the first time. Now you got a second version, and maybe it's going to take off. I could totally see this working. We just got to get that tie in.
yeah. So I gotta think about. Well, first of all, I should go to Clickbank and look at this Ted's woodwork.
Yeah, you can go into the affiliate site. Do you want me to share or pull it up and share my screen on it, or do you want to pull yours up? Or
I
maybe
guess
I'll do that.
I could do it while you're chatting away with everybody else,
Okay.
so that I'm not wasting other people's time.
I like that. I really like that idea, Alyssa, of, like you were saying with going with the woodworking. I never even thought of that for therapy. I love it. And you
God.
don't have to worry about somebody saying your program is nuts because this herbal supplement didn't work or anything like that when you're staying
Yeah,
on.
that was the thing. I was like going, I'm not comfy with that.
I honestly, there's so many of these ClickBank products that I've perused and researched and all the things because I was like, oh, I need to really lock this down. And I bet you there's 30 or 50 somewhere in there that I went between Clickbank engines and snoopers and
Then
Antrax.
you're going, oh, else.
Your
Sorry.
your internet cut out when you were
Yeah, we
talking.
didn't hear you, Meg.
It might have something to do with you trying to pull that ClickBank up, so
Oh,
that could be.
oh,
But
I guess.
yeah, I thought it was interesting that it just popped into my head. It wasn't me, it was Holy Spirit. I always give Holy Spirit credit, so
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you.
yeah.
It's all good. Connected. Connection is so important. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
I
So,
still have to do that assignment you gave me, Alyssa, but I'm starting on my TikTok shop. So then I can throw that little tariff thing up there on TikTok and see what happens. That might be the ticket. Oh, you're cut off. There you go.
No, I was muted. Sorry. Perfect place to put it.
Yep. Yeah. So I'm playing around with these shorts and I'm going, okay, let's see, what can I do for TikTok? So cool. Well, we've got while you're pulling that up, Meg, I know Eli, I don't know if she can talk. She's had a sick kid, which has been kind of rough, mama, when your little ones are sick. But if she's not too busy, do you want to chime in at all? Get your
sorry. I had to find the mute button.
there you go.
I have her right here. I usually don't do the meds, but it was very necessary today. But yeah, so she's happy right now. So, um, yeah, no, I haven't looked at ClickBank yet. I was just like finalizing my um landing page last weekend for my ConvertKit landing page for the opt-in um PDF that I made, and I don't know if I had told you guys, Alyssa and Meg, but my sorry, my site that my blog is about moms.
Yeah,
And
just a mama, just another mama. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I've been
So
watching. I pay attention.
good. Okay. So I had created an opt-in PDF. It's the 10 tips, the ultimate guide of something toddler. I even forgot about it. Toddler, 10 tips for raising a toddler or whatever. So I got that on my site, and then my ConvertKit didn't work. So this is FYI if either of you are doing this, but so come to find out, it wasn't anything to do with I created a subdomain, I connected it to ConvertKit. It had nothing to do with that. It had to do with the connection between Kit and my hosting, Springs hosting, need to get reissued an SSL certificate.
Oh,
That's it.
was that with Cloudflare? Because I know we went and turned on the SSL with Cloudflare.
We did. We turned it on, and everything was working. And I actually, when I was talking to the AI, I was talking to an AI assistant, and it was telling me to do everything I was supposed to not be doing. Yeah. So it was telling me to turn my subdomain on proxy instead of DNS only. And it was also telling me to turn my SSL certificate on
Cool.
full
Yeah.
and full strict. And it made okay. It made my computer go crazy.
Ritz.
Yeah, it made my computer go like code. And I was like,
Uh-oh.
oh my gosh. So then I like turned it back, shut my computer down, had to have it rebooted. And then I actually talked to someone on ConvertKit, and she was like, I checked everything and you did everything right. We just needed to reissue your SSL certificate. I was like,
So was it a ConvertKit tech had to do that because we
it
couldn't
was.
fix it?
Yeah,
Oh, because
it
I know
wasn't
we
on
checked
the
everything.
hosting side
Yeah,
at
because
all.
Justin checked hosting. I mean, we made sure
I
he did
know.
that, and I'm like, I know we got everything configured, and it
I
was
know. I felt
proxy,
bad.
right? On the
Yeah,
on the
it's not.
CDN.
Yeah. So I had to turn it off. But anyway, so it's working now. So my
Okay.
thing is when people go to subscribe, it shoots them that opt-in,
Uh-huh.
right? Like, like, oh, hey, subscribe or join, blah, blah, blah. And then it shoots them the opt-in PDF to get their email. So I get their email in the subscribers list in ConvertKit.
Good.
My thing is I had that WP forms
Yep.
in my original, like,
Right.
let's get connected
Yeah.
uh, thing, and I wrote up that thing, but I think I need to do something different with that
Yes.
page to
Absolutely.
it can convert kick.
Yep.
Like, you
Can
know what
I
I mean?
show
Like,
you? Yeah. So I
do
can.
I make it the same as the opt-in, or do I make it like a just get connected option?
You can do either, but I'm recommending well, people tend to opt in when they know they're getting something a little bit more than just because you want to connect. Your friends are
Okay.
going to want to connect with you, but 90% of the people on your site probably not. So,
So I think what I wanted to do was
can I show you how I did it?
oh
Did
yeah,
I
yeah,
do the
yeah.
embed
Sorry.
form or did I not show you that yet?
The
You might like
embed
what I'm
form.
doing with mine. I'll show you if you want to see it. You guys
Oh,
want
a
to see me show her how I set it up on my site to be able to have the opt-in, the get connected on the sidebar. And also I have another place where it can get like a regular opt-in on a page. I was doing that this week, so I could show you guys two different things that I'm setting up. So if you guys want to see it, I'll go ahead and show you. Okay,
Sorry.
let
My
me
and,
just,
two-year-old
and I'm
sneezed and hit her head on the
sorry.
table.
she's
Oh
got her little
no.
one. All right, let me just show you real quick and then I'll show you where in ConvertKit you go to do this and we'll see how this works. Okay, show.
Okay. Um,
I'm gonna mute myself because I have to keep on eating something so I stay awake.
Oh, poor
I was
Mary.
gonna say I'm eating too, but
Yeah, I haven't done dinner. I probably should, but I'm having too much fun with this. Okay, so guys, right now I have up here something that I drafted, and I'm going to base on this. I'm also putting some prompts together. This is going to become a document that you guys can bring into chat to start your email creation. And so these are like you can see the program benefits and all that. But what I want to do here is I might end up doing program modules instead of benefits listed here for the chat because that's what I did. I did my modules and oh man, I got some killer stuff on my email sequence. I was so happy. So that's the next phase. Maybe I'll post it with the Zoom call. Now let me go and show you something else. So Eli, you know how you had Let's Get Connected?
Mhm.
I have an embed form and with ConvertKit's plugin that you tie in to your website with, you can specify what forms and where you want them to show on your site. So I put
Yes,
the
I
widget.
did that on the sidebar.
Yep.
I
Okay.
just didn't do the page.
Okay. So let me show you a page option. Let's see. I gotta
So
move.
essentially, I had the WP forms on the side,
Mhm.
but now I have the embed form, but it's not the opt-in. It's just like a different like join.
Okay. Did you create that as a separate thing to just say join?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to recommend having a lead reason they want to connect. So, I,
So that is above it. So I have both of them on my sidebar. So I need to get rid of one.
what I did here, I put this in the menu I have here on the sidebar where they can sign up. I created this image and then I linked it to my regular lead page. But the embed form, I also created, I'm going to show you this because I'm doing two things. I'm going to have the high ticket coaching program and I'm starting it in my email sequence with opt-in to learn about my high ticket coaching program and to get on the wait list because my thought is since I'm going to be doing calls every single week that are being very specific to building the site, building the sequence out and all the emails and all the integration, my calls are going to be very specific to teaching on that and having Q&A very, just the one topic when I do my coaching program. So what I wanted to do with that, you can see right here, I wrote a whole page that I put up under my menu about my program. And then I created a separate, it's a wait list. So they're not paying anything right now. They're just going to get they'll sign up for the emails that'll get them on that list. And all it's going to do is tag, and I haven't set the automation yet. So please don't sign up, guys. And besides, I don't think you want to pay because you're free. So, but when basically I want this thing to set up and tag people, and there's a way to do it. I just haven't built it yet. And they'll be able to sign up here, and then it tags them to get notices in a special email sequence for when I release the program and start it up quarterly. It'll be like every 3 months because I think I can get people, launched with a site and a bunch of different creatives to go with it as I build out my program. Once I have that done, it should go a lot faster than it goes right now. But that's the idea is you could do the same thing. You could have your opt-in for your free lead magnet on your sidebar, and then you can create within your page a separate embed for something else. Maybe it's going to be Meg's doing a coaching program, so she could do exactly what I'm doing here. It'd be a separate form, but then you could create a separate deliverable, just like we did on your page. I haven't done this with you, Megan. I need to help you get your first embed in so you know how to do it. But like Eli, she delivers the link to her site for people to get their PDF, and you could put a video on that and welcome them to your program. I have a video on mine. I'm going to redo it once I get my modules all tied together. Then I'm going to do a video overview of the modules on my site, the courses. But I had to throw something up, so I just told my story, and that's all I do right now when people get my PDF. You guys, I think all saw it probably. So anyway, and here I have that form, and then below it, I have the objections, why they can't invest. Oh, money is tight. Well, I have programs, my platform's very reasonable. You don't have to buy the Go High Level $97 plus a month, program. We can get you started for $35 a month and 90 days because I'm going to give a temp website already pre-made. This can get launched really quick. We can work on monetization tracks and all of these other pieces. And then, how to go about selling digital products. And in 3 months with a coaching program, ought to make some good leverage or leverage the email marketing, get a good system going for people. So that's the idea. Get a wait list, opted in. And then, this is assumed that they already had my PDF, but if not, one of my first emails that goes out with the wait list is, hey, in case you didn't get this, here's my 5 strategies for building income online. And while you're waiting for the program, I want to invite you to this email newsletter where you're going to be getting these guides. And I'll give, kind of an introduction to that, the different types of guides that can help people build out the assets for their website. And then once I launch my program, they'll be able to start monetizing a lot quicker because they'll be able to hopefully join that program, and they'll get the $1,000 off on my coaching program because of that's going to be part of my sequence. And once they buy into the monthly program, if they pay for a year, that would be the catch. Buy a year's worth, buy the annual plan, and you'll get the $1,000 off my coaching program when it's launched. You'll get the discount.
I have a question for you on that.
Yeah.
On this. So, and I think this is where I was going. I just didn't know at the time. So when we create this, like getting the email, what I'm trying, and I can revamp whatever I have. I was just actually like trying to just get something in there just to get something in there. But when I get all these subscribers, how I know there's a way in ConvertKit to automate an email sequence out and multiple email sequences out. So like you could be sending out your weekly newsletter or monthly newsletter. And just like that guy you sent me
Uh-huh.
to watch, he
Yeah.
was like, that's fine, weekly, monthly newsletter, but you should be sending your sales letters like 7 times a week. So it's like, boom, 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 it hits you. It hits them, and that's just an automated thing.
Yep. So in my course the training that I'm in with ConvertKit training, it's not ConvertKit itself, but I'm working with somebody who builds coaching programs with ConvertKit. So I'm able to get to tech help, and I specifically ask, how do I do this? So I have my first email sequence. I'm going to just open this up. This one's done. The other one I'm building. And you guys, I'm probably going to tag it so you guys don't get all the emails because I don't want you feeling like you have to buy anything. But anyway, see, I have like a welcome to my journey email goes here on the side. And on the free account, oh, it's not going to bring it up because I'm in Zoom and it won't let me like I should be able to
So
bring it up. But
can you specify who gets what email?
oh, there it is. Yeah. So yes, you can because if you have people tagged, like for you guys, it will get a special Sheraton, whatever. I haven't decided what it's going to be, but I'm going to have things tagged separately so that I can pivot different things. I might even just throw you in on the sequence, but say, hey guys, if you want any of these products, here's a discount code or something because you're with Sheridan. That's basically what I think I'll end up doing so that you guys can get the same emails without having to pay for the products. That's the idea. You guys paid enough for this program here. So, but anyway, this is the like I do my welcome email, and then I have 6-hour email, and then that just makes sure that people got it. And I ask them to let me know so I know they got the email and it didn't just end up in their spam folder. And so that's what I recommend. Same kind of thing. We'll do the same thing. This is one automation. It's done. Once it's done, then I create another automation that goes to my nurture sequence, which starts the whole coaching program, wait list, opt in, telling people what they're going to get. And I'm going to have stories that I'm going to be sharing about people who have accomplished certain things in building digital assets. So you can see I've already started my sequence here. And then I'm talk about the coaching program down here um, that they could sign up for to get the emails about it. And I'm going to have a separate email sequence on that, which I haven't designed yet. But once they get on this, they'll be able to have that. Yes, Alyssa.
So just confirming here, this email sequence that you're doing, this isn't go high level then. This is
No,
literally this.
ConvertKit.
Okay, because that's all I did with in go high level was that on day one they get this email, on day two they get this email,
Yeah.
and okay.
I can do so much with ConvertKit. I'm like, why did I buy it to go high level? I bought a year's plan. So, I have it until that ends, but I can create a sequence of modules. Now, here's the one thing Go High Level has. It has an affiliate program option. It has the ability to create modules with videos, but why not just create email sequences with the videos embedded? I'll show
Yeah,
you.
like a link.
Yeah, so I'll show you this one right here. I just did this person's story and how they were able to launch on TikTok and make 13,000 in 2 weeks. And I mean,
Mhm.
like I said, it's very new. This person just did this in the last year.
Mhm.
So I'm like going to start featuring different people, different stories. I even had AI go and find some stories for me because I'm looking for them, but I'm going to have stories for each of the things that I'm teaching. I'm going to be teaching people how to build and how did they do it? And they can hear and watch the video. Look at this. Why can't I just create a mini course? And when they buy that mini course or they're getting the email automations, they get the follow-up sequence of emails for this particular course,
Mhm.
as opposed to having to put it into Go High Level. I don't see
Mhm.
why do I have to pay that? Go High Level is expensive and it's a beast to run. The only difference is they don't get a login platform to see all their courses. They're good, but I'm going to make it so that they have a PDF. They'll have the video, and I could throw it onto my site if I wanted to. I could create a whole series of blogs on my site that's behind the I could do a paywall if I wanted to. There's actually a free membership one, but I don't like I've been doing memberships and they're always buggy. So I'm like, maybe I'll just block it from the search engines, see how that goes. And I could still get people access to different sections of my site, even. I could deliver a PDF that has a link to an unlisted video on my YouTube channel that they could just click on. Now they got the PDF. They own the product. I don't have to keep paying platform fees like I would be with Go High Level. So I'm
Yeah.
thinking outside the box. How can we make this affordable so that, you're just paying for ConvertKit and your Spring's hosting? We're talking 35 bucks a month until you have over 1,000. Once you have over 1,000 people, they work through your sequence, hopefully buy stuff. And if they don't, well, they drop off the sequence when you're done, right? You just kick them out of your subscriber list and go to the next thing. So I just really think we can make this affordable so people don't die on fees. I also discovered somewhere, and I don't remember where I heard it, that if people have to sign and create a login for a opt-in product that they want, there's a certain percentage number of people that will drop. They would have bought it if it hadn't been that they have to create a login. And Go High Level requires logins. That in itself is like, well, ConvertKit doesn't.
Mhm.
And again, you're simplifying your process.
You should be able to cancel the rest of your membership.
I may, but I also bought the coaching that went with it, which is teaching
Oh,
me course creation.
yeah.
And I'm learning so much. I'm like, part of
Yeah,
me
yeah, no.
wants the training,
Yeah,
but so I'm going to go through the whole year of training
for
with
sure.
it
Yeah.
because there's good stuff in it. And I still have my Go High Level link on my website for people if they want to do that. But I'm playing with this ConvertKit and I'm just totally blown away at what I can do. The reoccurring revenue with a newsletter that I can then have a sequence of emails and deliver these products for free. I mean, that it just saves so much complication with web integration and bots. I had a bot have fun with my drop shipping site the other day. I might want to drop that whole drop shipping piece because I just like what I could do with ConvertKit. Keep it simple.
Yeah.
So, except with my greenhouses, I think I'll have to keep the drop shipping site. But maybe I'll go
I
avoid
want
it.
one of those greenhouses. Oh, sorry.
I know they're great. But, the other thing is like with a drop shipping site, you could use WooCommerce just to run all your affiliate products to Amazon and make it look like they're buying it, like they're going to check out, but they won't check out on your site. They'll check out on Amazon. But that's another thing that you can do. I'm toying with all kinds of ideas. So,
Okay.
yeah. Well, there you go. That's kind of what I've been doing. You can see the nice sequence of emails. And look, last chance to sign up before the doors are closing we're going to be launching this, jump start your influence. So sign up now, join the wait list. And if they don't, they're not interested in my coaching program. Fine. But I'll be still marketing out my sequence of emails that I'm creating right now that's going to have all these great products. And they can either pay monthly or pay $100, $97 per product. Well, $50 a month sounds better than $97 for my one product I want this month. Because look at all these products I could have gotten for free if I just bought the monthly program. So you see how you can like pitch it two different types of price points so that you can monetize your email traffic without.
Is there more check marks you can put there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I can copy any of these and just copy paste and build it out more. And the
Yeah,
thing
because
that
you want more pros than just three things.
it depends on what I'm doing. I want to keep it real simple on the emails, but then people can go to the wait list. And when they click that, it takes them right over to my long form page that gives a lot more things.
I'm just looking at mentalities, and it's easy to walk away from three things, but half a dozen things,
Yeah, you're right.
right? Like, oh,
Yep.
I don't know, because like the more I'm just saying, like those bullet points. That's
Yeah.
all. That's my 2 cents. I would add a few more.
Yep. And like the funnels on Go High Level are really good.
Yeah,
So we essentially are using the blog site as our funnel as opposed to the Go High Level. And so we
yeah,
have the flexibility to build out as much as we want.
yeah.
But they're not as fast. The landing page, I mean, there's some drawback, but cost wise, it's hard to beat.
I wish I wouldn't have, I deleted all the email sequences that I had gotten from Full Stack.
Oh,
I should have, I never thought anything of it, right? I was like, all this stuff I'm not going to do. I'm not doing this. So I deleted everything. But yeah, so
you know what
uh,
you can do if you have an email sequence that you like, maybe it's not that product, but it's another one. You can
mhm.
go train chat, put them into Word document, import it into your chat GPT and say, I want you to learn from this email sequence. I would like to do one similar and then use my product promise document. And you can build it out with more bullets. And maybe then also have here are my coaching programs or here's my sections of my sites that I'm going to be promoting.
Okay.
That's kind of what I'm doing right now is something to build that into an email sequence ideas. Then with the ideas of that product ideas that I'm building for this chat GPT prompt document, then we can go to free ad copy because we have, 1,000 credits now. And then we could go and please expand out each of these emails to make it, more easy to convert. So we'll throw it into free ad copy and see what it will give us because it
Mhm.
has the email sequencing as well. I just think use all the tools we got in the bag.
Yeah.
And I
I'm
like,
excited about that free ad copy. I think that's going to be because there's so many people using ChatGPT, right?
mhm.
So the flavors are going to be limited in ChatGPT. Like I get it's a computer, but it's still going to have like you know what I mean? Whereas free ad copy is literally, that's its bread and butter. Like that's what it was literally built for. I think
Yes.
it'll just sound less robotic and more human than
Yes.
the chat stuff.
Well, and that's where, like, if my prompt document just gives you a headline and a product idea and
Mm,
one little script, like one little line.
yeah.
You could go and iterate all you
Hey,
want from there, but this will give you like the
hey.
framework to start building it out. And I think free ad copy is going to be a killer,
Yeah.
really good for us. So,
Okay.
yep. And then I also liked Adam's idea. He showed this on his call on Thursday about bringing in jump page psychology. I wrote down the different ones: copywriting, jump page psychology, one sentence persuasion, jump page oh, he was saying there's a prompt. I don't know which prompt he had, but you basically can bring those documents in to train your chat to build the emails off of those as
You're
well.
talking like a PDF document when you to add it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's under his creative I forget, SheridanMedia.com, I think it is. You have to create an account if you don't have one yet, but you can get those documents there and he says you can download those to train chat. So I say use all the tools that he's giving us
For
because
sure.
these are
Yeah.
amazing tools. And
Yeah.
even the avatar, being able to pinpoint an avatar off our VSLs, we can throw that into prompt chat off of my prompts. My prompts, I'm only going with my own, I'm studying things and I'm putting things together, but my documents are going to be my own because I don't want to use other people's licensed work. But I highly encourage you to use whatever you got. If you've got an email sequence, put it in a Word document and say, hey, learn from this. I love this email sequence. Can you build one for me? Here's my product benefits. Here are my modules. What can you
Yeah.
create for me? I think, it could do a lot for you. But yeah, I just love it. I just took my little, my major 5 areas from
Mhm.
my PDF lead magnet and had it draw out the initial email sequence and product names, and then even found testimonies for me on the internet because I asked that. I'm like, whoa. So now I can iterate on all this, but it is so wonderful. Like just
Well, like the
great.
one product what I was going to play with, I didn't get to it today though, was I found the one product on Amazon that I'm interested in, and there's some reviews. And I was like gonna like take all those reviews, put them in a Word document, and see if I could get some headlines that would feed off what people liked about the product
Good
to
idea.
play with. So
Yeah, good idea. I know we can't use those reviews necessarily in our marketing. I don't think. I don't know if we're licensed for that or how that works, but I'm finding things that are out already public, like a YouTube video, like I just showed you one, and then there's some other platforms where the reviews are public, and then I could link to that, and then I could still give the link credit back to the person. This review is found on, whatever website.
Yeah.
Because I think it's important that we, whatever we do. I was thinking about making my own version of the video talking about the different people that had success with, like for me, money making money online. And then I could do certain clips of their reviews and then say, if you want to learn more about them, I have links in the descriptions. So I could
So you
still,
can't use Amazon reviews in like your bridge page or something, eh?
I don't know. But I
Okay.
know Amazon is kind of picky about certain things, and the FCC's been really picky about how you source your reviews, or the Federal Trade Commission. Yeah. So like they were really clamping down. And so I'm like super careful, whatever I'm doing, to be able to source where I'm getting it from. And that way I don't get in trouble. They don't want the fake reviews. So
Right.
I don't think these are fake. Like I read through them and like,
no, I know. I'm
yeah.
saying
But
because
make
you
sure
didn't
that
obtain it. You have to have some information like the date that you personally obtained that review. What was the circumstance around it? With Amazon, they have all the records of who bought what. So they can, if called upon, these reviews were gotten this way, or this was an influencer we hired. Here's how we vetted this person so we know their stuff is legit. But you can't do that if you're just grabbing text off the review and then you don't have the same legal backing that they do for those reviews. That's all I'm saying.
I was just gonna like take almost like a screenshot of them and say, here are some of the things people are saying on Amazon. But
Yeah,
okay.
I don't know. I just be very careful. So
Okay.
what I would do is in my video, you have to be careful. You can't show pricing on Amazon. They'll have all these rules you'll see. As an associate for Amazon, you can't show pricing, but maybe you can screenshot, like show a video. Hey, this person on it. Let's check out some of the reviews on this product. And then you make a video of it where you go onto the platform and you're showing. You guys could do the same thing, pull this product up, but then you're not really selling it. Well, yeah, I guess you are because you're pushing through your link to the product. So yeah, I guess that would be fine. So I don't think you're violating. They are careful about images on Amazon. They don't want you reposting images from Amazon as well. Super picky on the associate side.
No, I was just looking at like the star reviews, like literally in the reviews.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I think you'd be okay if you're doing like a screenshot, but you're not bringing, I mean, a video where your screen, like you're showing it on screen, I think would be okay. But it's such Amazon is such a sticky thing that I'm very careful about anything that I do with their site.
Okay, I'll have to research that a little more.
Yeah, that'd be good. So,
my thing is making sure that you have the person who's actually doing the review.
yeah. Yeah, if you have your own person to do the review, you're totally fine.
Mhm.
And like your program, Meg, you might even have people that been through your programs before come and share a little bit at the end of your video presentation or whatever you're
So
going to.
that's something we could do for you, technically.
Yes,
We could
exactly.
do
Yes,
video
that's why I
reviews
was
for
like,
you.
I could be a testimonial. Oops,
I
Yeah,
would
guys.
love that.
yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't hesitate to do that for you.
That would be
A
wonderful.
proper video and everything.
Yeah.
Yep. Well,
But yeah,
let's see what we can do to leverage the traffic source we got with Adam, leverage these ClickBank products, and then get our sequences going on the back. And hopefully this was helpful for you guys. I want to finish my prompting document that I was playing with, and then, embed that with the call archive on this, and we'll go from there. But we're at our 2 hour mark, and I'm sure Meg needs to go to sleep.
I'm like getting,
He's
like when you get too, like when you're really sleepy and it's really super hot. It's like
oh,
one of those things
are you
where,
hot?
well, what happens is my body will start getting hotter and hotter and hotter to try to get me to sleep.
Oh, funny. Mine gets cold.
Yes. Yours get cold, and then so I have to eat all the time to pay attention.
Uh, well, thank you for keeping your eyes awake while we're on the call. I hope we gave you some good ideas. Maybe check out that
Well,
product and
it's
ClickBank.
so cool that you saw you showed the link of how to put the emails, because you know how I always like try, have you ever been stuck? All these emails all ready to go. So it sort of kind of goes, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you really ready? Are you really ready to commit? Kind of thing, because that's how I've always done things.
You have to have a deadline. And so, like, this sequence is going to end. And for them to sign up easily, it's right here to get on the wait list. Again, I'm not,
Yeah. So I already had that already. So I have like a like the first type of here's the program. And then the second one is why you can't use that excuse. Sorry, da da da, because I've already heard this excuse, that hurt excuse, that excuse. And then the next one goes into a little bit more of these are the things that, are offered. And then
yeah, the
I don't know
bulletin.
what I'm talking about anymore, but yeah.
Yeah, there's a
Is that what you did?
strategy
Like,
in this one. And then the idea is it will feed into my nurturing sequence, which is all of the additional products they get in the part of the program. If they don't buy into my monthly, they're going to miss out on all those program products. So that's
oh,
pushing, it's a two-way thing. Once they're done here, we go right into that. The masterclass, email, whatever. So that's the idea. I still haven't figured out how to get chat to like prompt. I don't know if you can really prompt everything. You may just have to do prompt this for this section, prompt that for that section, because it's really hard for it to do the whole thing. So,
did you want me to send the 5 email
well,
things that I do for?
actually what I want to do is let me move, I see if it follows me over here. So I'm creating a prompt around this. Oops, not this one. Okay. I just showed you how to embed. So let's do oh yeah, I know where I put it.
This,
So I right now have an article up and I'm going to be using this kind of creating a template out of this, but I have some more stuff that I'm prompting chat on. So you're essentially going to take your ideas of the benefits, and I might even break it down further with some more prompting for a list of the modules, because I actually did a deeper prompt with my modules and had it tell me products that would go with it. Oh, was that good? So I have the benefits is still going to go here. This is from their product promise document. You're going to just, the prompting will be very similar to what you see here, but I'm going to add a little bit more to it. And then I'm going to break it down even further, because what I got, my output I got just before the call was fantastic. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm getting pretty close to what I want, what I want to lay out as a format for prompting. So on this part of it, not the
well,
other
if there's
part.
And
anything I
that
ever,
goes,
if there's anything I learned from having a business, a bunch of business, but anyways, is never wait till it's perfect at 80% launch. And then on the fly you make corrections, because
Yeah.
if you wait till perfection, you will never launch, and or the idea by then is so beat to death. It's yeah.
Yeah, I want to build some of those modules out at least for the monthly program, because I think a lot more people will pay for that before they want to jump to coaching, most likely anyway. And there will always be the way to be able to get on the wait list for coaching just through my site, just going on the menu. But on my email sequence, it'll just be ended right there. No more pushing of the coaching program, but more for the, monthly is going to be my nurture sequence. So
and one of the, oops, sorry.
go ahead. No, go ahead, Meg.
One of the things that people really God appreciate is the fact that when you're honest about the fact that you're one of the people that are helping you build this program.
Uh-huh.
So if you say that straight out, then people say, "Oh, you're honest." And the honesty will really show,
Mm.
and they'll be happy to be participating in something that they're building with you.
Yep.
So just know that, because my, the holistic practice didn't come from, you know, oh, I'm going to be a Reiki practitioner. It went from one person going, oh, I really like your approach and da da da. And I noticed this and that and that. And so
Yeah,
that's where, yeah.
well, I was going to say, do you notice a similarity pattern between what we're doing in starting our business blogs and testing out our coaching program ideas and different products? It's the same thing that we do with Adam's marketing. He goes and he throws a whole bunch of stuff out there, and then he kind of ties it into the ones that are moving the needle. Then those he builds out more. We're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Kind of funny. Marketing is all same basic principles, just a different animal that we're working with on this platform. But
Yeah.
cool.
So
All righty.
I
I
like
got a
how I love
couple.
this.
Can I ask a couple quick questions or no?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, these will be super quick. So I remember you talking there was a different program than Loom
Mhm.
for uh screen recording. What was
Yes.
it called?
Wondershare Filmora. Wonder, like it sounds, WONDER, share, SHARE. It's all one word. And then the second one is all one word as well. Filmora. Film, FILMORA.
Okay,
Yep.
okay,
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna get
love
I
it.
tried working with it, but I'm still working on it.
May not. You may just, there's a lot of features they're adding in, new AI, this and that. And I'm not an expert in that part. I play with it a little, but nah, I just do the regular filming. So if you're stuck, you can ask me to show you something. Like, how do you do this? How do you bring a, maybe you don't know how to bring media in, maybe you don't know how to screen capture. It's
I
really
just for making some gifts and stuff, I was like, oh, I want to record this to
I
make
did
it into
that
my
too. Today
yeah, and then I was like, oh, it's not Loom, it's a different one. What was it that she said she used? And that's I wanted to know that.
you'll like one to share because on one that I had a video, just one little segment of the video I wanted to pull for my gift. I can resize my window capture down to exactly what I want. Then play
Okay,
that part of the video and stop it. And then I could create my GIF right out of that. It's a whole lot easier than Gifster pulling the entire thing. And then you got to figure out how to crop it. To me, I just love Wondershare. And this particular video had some permissions on it that would not work with Adam's Gifster. So it was like,
okay.
it won't it let you embed either. So I'm like, well, I'm just going to screen capture that one little thing. It's not going to matter to the creator because it's not.
Yeah, no, I know. That's exactly. I'm like watching certain videos and I'm like just grasping like a 2 second clip and I'm like, oh, that'd be perfect for what I'm thinking of
Yes.
using as an ad banner, right? And same thing, it's not like something that's branding or anything. It's just that little sequence that they did and the way it was filmed, I'm like, it'll just work.
Oh, I think so. That's what I did with this one. And I'm gonna look for more things like that as opposed to using Gifster. I just found Wondershare so easy. Cropping it where I want it, getting the capture as good as I possibly could, blowing the, how you can use your mouse to kind of blow the video up on screen as much as you can, then crop it right in, and then just record that segment. And I don't have to do a lot of processing on the back end. I can throw it into Easy Gift and get my little caption put on it and call it good.
Okay,
I
and then
play
I have
button.
one more goofy question.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to figure out how they word it because I'm gonna get it confused and I hope I didn't lose what it is I want to ask. Uh, Give me 1 sec. If others want to leave, go ahead. This is just little. Oh, dang, is it?
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
gonna say good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Thanks for sticking with us so long. That's great.
Oh, I hope I didn't accidentally close it. Oh, here it is. So the the one affiliate thing you have to ask for permission, right? On ClickBank, some of them.
Some of them.
And they're asking for a freaking Skype address.
Yeah.
What is the Skype address?
So you'll have to Google. Skype is a special program that works with Microsoft. And
Yeah,
you
no, I know it's the calling, like what you do, and I have an account, but I don't know what part of the account is the address. Is it my phone number? Is it
Oh, yeah, you should have a special Skype address. Like when you log in, that's your user.
I've gone into my account and it just says my name, my
Ugh,
Skype ID. It doesn't say address anywhere. I'm like, what the fuck is what is this address? So okay,
yeah,
I thought maybe somebody might know because I haven't used Skype and I didn't think anybody used Skype to be honest anymore.
yeah,
I
yeah, I
thought it
do
was like
too. Well,
MySpace or whatever.
when you go to some of these other platforms that Adam is going to bring in, I know one of them he used in the past was Verb, and everything was done through Skype.
No.
And yeah, I don't really like that. I like Clickbank to stick with the products that are just easy,
Yeah.
because I also they're going to screen you more if you have to apply. What's your affiliate earnings? How good have you done in promoting products? I'm sorry, I have no. I sold one.
Yeah.
That's like all
Okay.
I've got. I don't have
Okay,
anything to
then
show
I
for like,
maybe I won't do this one then. So
yeah,
it was
I'm
one of the
just
two
saying.
I was looking at, but okay.
I don't know. Adam may have another idea for that, and you could ask on his call because he's the expert compared to me. But I know in the past I've been like afraid to apply because I don't have anything to show.
Well, I know Bruce a couple times on his calls. He's like, yeah, just apply. It's not a big deal. They're just
Okay.
basically confirming you're not a scammer or a bot or something like
Okay.
that. So,
So it may be
but
legit, just fine. It may be no problem. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Very
yeah,
possible. So
but it's a must. You have to put in a Skype address, and I'm like, I don't know what my Skype address is.
yeah.
I'll have to
Well,
Google it. That's fine.
yeah, Google it. I'm sorry, I
Yeah.
can't help with that.
No,
Should
I
be
just on the off
easy.
chance. That's why I asked. But anyways,
Yeah.
okay. Otherwise, yeah, for me, I've narrowed it down to two ClickBank products. So I'm going to one or the other. Both of them have over 100 gravity, so they're good that way. I followed them. The one is newer than the other. Um, they're like when you look at their placements and their gravities, they both have done a little bit of up and down. So it nothing really big there. Like there's no, you know what I mean? Um, so yeah, so as far as that goes, it's just gonna, I was just about to take them and make the 25 um headline, like the 20, or is it 25 headlines or 50 headlines? Because
50
he said
headlines.
50 headlines. That's what I
And the
thought.
10 images are going to be on Metric Mover on your page testing, not on the ad banners initially until we see what wins of the page. So it's a little different than what his guidance was before. But no, I think that's really good. So
Okay.
save us some ad spend for sure. If
Yeah,
people,
so I was just these two products gathering. So, and then I was watching his, like, I have my TV in my office here hooked to my laptop. So I'm playing his video on my big screen TV so I can, because holy man, trying to watch them on the computer, they're so,
yeah. So
like, I thought, oh, there's got to be a way to zoom that, like, make it full screen or something. And there's not, eh? For those his training videos. And I'm like, okay, that's not good. But
yeah, and see that's another reason I like Wondershare when I do my filming. You'll notice how much I zoom in to my
yeah,
videos when I'm giving directions because it is hard to see. And if you're on a phone, it's even worse. You're trying to
yeah.
play
Oh,
it
you
on your
couldn't.
phone while you're on
His
the
video,
computer.
there's no way with his screen share you wouldn't be on a phone. You'd have no idea what he's doing. And now I understand why people are coming onto those calls saying, I tried to watch Adam's video and I was lost because they
Yeah.
can't see anything.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
anyway,
I remember people on the calls themselves saying they couldn't see anything
yeah.
because he's doing Loom. I think
Yeah,
oh no, Zoom, because he's doing Zoom, and Zoom just captures the screen just like it is right now. And that's a
yeah,
big screen to look at. So with all those modules and Go
yeah.
High Level is not an easy platform to migrate.
But yeah, honestly, unfortunately, most of my time has been going into uh corporation stuff. Just getting that because then I can open bank accounts and
Yep.
all that stuff, and it's all separate then. And
Yep. That's a good way to go. I did that. So I'm good to roll with that. I am spending a lot of time trying to chat prompting and trying to learn. I'm actually studying and watching a lot of videos to learn things that I don't know. And then of course I'm on all the tech calls that I have with the program I'm on, which is
I
helping.
know you're a busy lady. Every once in a while, I'm like, wonder what Chrissy's doing. I'm tempted to just chat. Hey, what are you doing? Want to call? Just, but I'm like, she's too busy. She's got way too much life.
Yeah, I'm also doing like getting ready for a mission trip. Just got my trip booked to go out to Salt Lake.
When? Where?
So I got to Salt Lake for the Mormon General Conference, and I do, talk to people on the streets,
Yeah.
and that is going to be the first weekend in April. So I'll
Okay.
be back by Monday, so I could take my calls like usual. But yeah, so I was kind of gearing up some of that, doing some videos for the mission because I like to do a video every month, a couple videos to feature in my newsletter. So I'm getting ready for March's newsletter now, so I got more videos to process. I have too many things going to be able to really implement social media at the level. I'm going to be on a podcast this Saturday with a guy who's doing a ministry to Mormons and he wants to have me on. So I'm like, so I got that going too. It's like, oh my gosh, how am I supposed to run everything? So that's why the automations and maybe one call per month on my monthly subscribers. And then, you know,
Mhm.
I'm going to keep this one going with Sheridan for a little while anyway. And maybe the email idea will work. I hope. And then Adam will say, okay, I'll bring you back on the team. But
Well,
if it
yeah, we
won't,
can be your guinea pigs for that because then you'll have stats and you'll have,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know. It may not work. It might just flop on his traffic source. I mean, who knows?
I don't think it will because as long as it's closely, like you can't have like you're doing a weight loss supplement and here's a, like to capture emails for a weight gain product. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's got to be
Related.
somewhat relevant, right, to some degree.
Yeah,
But
I'm calling it a complimentary guide to
yeah,
whatever this product is. And but I want to use the word complimentary guide. And I'm going to have specific things like, no, I don't want the complimentary guide. Take me to the video, or yes, I
yeah,
want the guide. Take me back to, and I'll use an anchor point, which I know
okay.
the tricks in WordPress. I'll have to see if I can get Adam's bird page to work the
So for
same.
WordPress, where do we find the themed websites to look at for
Okay.
design?
Under appearance on the left menu, there
Okay.
is customization,
So
and
it's in the actual WordPress, like in or Springs hosting. I go in there, or well, I go into my C Plank login or whatever, and
actually, no, the themes for different websites are inside your WordPress install. So you do Installatron,
oh,
install
okay,
WordPress,
Installatron. Okay,
follow all those guidelines, and then I walk you through in the when I talk about making a home page. I
okay,
show
that's in
in
your
I
videos. Okay,
think in my video I show how to get to the theme. And I'm pretty
okay,
sure because I have how to create a theme menu, and that's where you can look at different themes. I did something super basic on my
yeah,
videos. So if someone didn't even want to pull a different theme than the regular blog format, they could
yeah.
do that. I make it real
Okay.
simple, then people can do what they want
So
to.
the other one that came to me with my shirts is like with my triple threat t-shirts is I want to offer them as a fundraiser for church groups and stuff like that. I think it would
Okay.
be, a good a lot of churches are always looking for ways to raise money or whatever, and so
So they would have to be, if they're going to be offered as a donation, you would either print them, give them to the church with your discounted code that you can get them printed at. And essentially, the church would then have your teas to sell out as a donation. And they can't sell it because that's considered, donation money. So you would just say, if it's going to go to a nonprofit, you would say they could put a table out and you donate at cost what those t-shirts were, and then any proceed they get above as a
oh,
donation
okay,
made.
because I was looking at like our church, like we've had different groups come in and they've set up tables and they're
Yeah.
selling their products, right?
Yeah, and the donation side, I have to say, for a gift of any amount, usually is how I put it. You could, or a minimum of a gift of a minimum of $15 because that's my cost, or whatever that's the cost of the t-shirt. They can get this t-shirt, and that is how they would do it. But you would buy it on your customers, order it yourself, just like you do with KDP books. You order your own books. I do that for my mission too. So anyone wants to give a donation and get the book, they can, it supports the mission. But me personally, I take royalties on sales on my platform. And that's
Okay.
that I get
Okay, I'll
directly.
have to dig deeper into that then. But I was just like, oh, this is
Yeah.
something I could just, if a church is looking to make money, It's like,
Yeah.
here, sell these shirts, take a large percentage of
Yeah.
the
They're
profits.
they don't get even a discount on corporation on the book side, and I don't know about t-shirts, but it used to be you could give them a corporate, they could get it their own corporate discount with Amazon and get it like for books 40% discount. Not anymore. So what I do for like CSN Radio that offers my books, I was letting them have my books at cost. I would order it, they'd pay me back what the cost was. I shipped the books to them, and then they were selling it on their platform, selling it was gift of any amount wording. And that's how I was basically helping them sponsor their radio. So I had a lot of books go out that way, but it wasn't, I was getting nothing and they were getting 100% of that because I built it that way. You could charge a little bit if you want to have some for in your pocket. Then you could say, the t-shirts cost me whatever, $5. I'm going to upcharge 750, so I'll get $2 on every sale.
Yeah,
But they would submit their order. I want 100 of these. I want 50 of these. And you
exactly.
let them
Yeah,
know. That's the only way to do it because it has to
yeah,
go through your creator account to get the
yeah.
discount.
Okay.
Yeah, good questions.
Okay.
And I do
Yeah.
know about nonprofit. Haven't run it for quite a while. So
Okay. Well, the other one I was like, also how you looking at, like, I don't know how you can attach something like that, and it would be maybe more on the website, not Amazon, but where, a percent, like say $2 from every shirt, pick your congregation, and I can have a list of them, and then that could go
okay.
towards their,
Amazon had that program for a while, and I was
yeah.
actually one of the missions that could be picked inside the
Mm,
Smile Foundation or Smile. It was under Smile Amazon. They got rid of it. It's completely
okay.
cut. So you cannot run anything like that. And when it
Okay.
was, the nonprofit had to apply to be in the list of drop down, and then you
Okay.
couldn't specify. They had your donor or whoever would have to go in and look for that nonprofit. I had a specific link that helped them find my nonprofit quicker,
Yeah.
but they got rid of
Okay.
that. So,
This is just me and my wheels turning. So
no, good
again,
question.
I'm not going to just have my clothing on Amazon. Like, I will be branching out to
Printify,
uh
Etsy.
Etsy, and yeah,
Yep.
because I do have a program I bought almost 2 years ago that is doing, like, it's literally a how to build an Etsy. I paid
Cool.
for it's like all the it's like your coaching program except for Etsy, right?
Yeah.
And so now with my t-shirts, because I sat there and I'm like, well, I don't have a craft, I don't have anything to sell on it, right? But I just was like, deep down, I'm like, oh, I know this is something neat. And then the first business that I seen, was called Scriptured Photography, and it's taking photos and pieces of scripture, and like their canvases, right? And
Nice.
you add the scripture, right? And I was going to do like three tiers. Tier one is, I literally have picked the scripture. This is that price point. Then tier two, here's three to pick from. And then tier three is at this price point, and you pick your own that you want to put on it,
I
right?
think Amazon even has something like that, but I haven't learned enough about how that works. But I
Yeah,
saw it. I said,
but I know that that would be probably a better thing through Etsy, right? So,
it might
and
be because Etsy has a really good traffic base. And I
yes,
don't know what you need to pay for ads or if you need to pay for ads. It
yeah,
looks like with Amazon, I've done 3 t-shirts and I'm not getting any views. So to
yeah,
me, I may have to pay for ads for that to be seen.
yeah,
Stuff I gotta learn and do some more research on before I
yeah,
try to teach that part. But I
yeah,
do know how to set them up, so I can help with
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I finally
Well,
got
that's good.
Kindle going. I got the Kindle
Yeah.
app and then obviously the ConvertKit. So I got those two
Yeah.
things. Yay.
No, that's big.
25%,
That's huge. Like that.
25% off. Good
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah. No, I will do that when I get, I'm just not quite there yet. So
So you want to see something too that I built for my mission? I'll show you real quick.
sure.
It's for
Yeah,
my
I don't,
books.
I'm good for, I got an hour before I'm slowly gonna take the dogs out and go to bed.
Okay, this will take me back to my site here, but I'm gonna pull up my mission one.
Okay.
So what I did is I did a subdomain off of my mission website and I created a WooCommerce store. The reason why is WooCommerce can be a resource hog, and other plugins, I have a ton of plugins on my main site, so they tend to conflict sometimes. So I separated my store out as a subdomain store. Because look how easy it is. I put my videos talking about the different books.
Mhm.
I need to do more videos. I know you're going to get on me on that,
No, no, no.
but I just yeah.
It wasn't me. It was Holy Spirit slammed me in the head and said, "Tell her," and I went, "Okay."
All right. Yeah. We'll figure it out. I'm just learning. So here, what I do for the mission, because I don't want to sell anything,
Hmm.
I've got links right to Amazon. So this I do
Hmm.
personally get the royalties on these, which helps out for my personal.
Hmm.
But see, I have different language ones, and it takes you right to the Amazon stores for because I had them.
Oh, don't get me started on the freaking Jehovah Witness. I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys are following something that was made up by a university student that just decided to take willy-nilly parts of the Bible and make his own little
Yeah, you
cult.
can't talk to
I,
Jehovah's Witnesses that way. But hey,
I know, I know, but I'm like, I'm not naive enough to not learn. Like I've read some of I forget what their book is, anyways, but um, and also some of the Quran, just some of it, just for language purposes, right? Just
yeah,
so but like I'm not interested in them as in like for myself, but I just mean
yeah.
where are they coming from? Because you still have to get in somebody's shoes before you can have any kind of a conversation, right?
Yeah, and this book is really, I built this after spending a year at the Kingdom Hall talking to an elder and his wife and a circuit overseer, and like lots of, before that even, uh, probably 2 or 3 years of conversation with them. And
Mhm.
then I studied what they're taught to say to Christian arguments. So when I
Mhm.
scripted out my mock dialogues in here, I actually had the Jehovah's Witness, what they either told me or what was scripted in their book to say. So it's very realistic to how they think, even though they
Mhm.
won't tell you that when you talk to them.
Yeah.
If you know how they're thinking. So I've had an ex-Jehovah's Witness go through this book, and she was coming out of the watchtower and trying to sort out all the doctrine. And this one's my major doctrine book that just goes through all the major things. And she said, "You are answering the questions I have before I can even ask them." Because of the way I crafted the dialogue, the Christians rebuttaling everything that in from the way they think. So it's a
Mhm.
very unique approach, and I also have an audio series on it. Um, yeah, I need to. Well, I have it on my site, but it's harder to find. I probably should link it in here. I don't know if I do, because that would be it would be really good. I should link it on this page. Yeah, I don't have it in here. So I'll need to add a link to the audio series so you can listen online, because it for a lot of Christians trying to learn to talk to them, they're not sure how they think. And if you listen to the series, you'll start to like hear the arguments in your head and like, oh, here's how you can rebuttal it. And this one is these are documentation packets, but you could do the same thing. I made everything free, but you can create a checkout where they actually can get a download and pay. So this is another form of monetization for your blog site when you build, let's say you do t-shirts and then you want some type of guide to go with whatever the t-shirts are, or maybe you want to sell Etsy prints. You can maybe embed the link to the print platform on Etsy,
All of my business is
delivery.
kind of intertwined, like right, the two, like the shirts and the scriptured photography should be able to bounce off each other, you
Yeah.
know.
Look
And
how
then
easy this is. You could have
yeah,
your related products all categorized with your store. And
yeah.
this is what I did for the mission, making the stuff free. Oh, and then I think there's a way to do it, but I haven't done it yet with ConvertKit. I know MailChimp with my ministry, I have this connected to this store. So I bring
Mm.
my products in on my emails and it's down there for people to peruse. You could do the same thing. I I think ConvertKit does it. I don't know how, but I saw something about a store connection with ConvertKit on a paid account. I know it works awesome, beautifully with MailChimp's interface. So yeah,
Okay. Yeah, no, yeah, my brain keeps expanding and I keep forcing it down just so I can.
one focus at a time.
Yeah. I'm like you. I love to
Other things.
octopus,
Yeah.
like 8 arms in every direction. but I've also learned the more I do that, the less I get done. So
So here's my other drop shipping store with
yes,
actual greenhouses.
which
And
is
so they
cool.
where they go to check out, like this is a popular model here. And they can it was tricky because I had to learn the plugins to be able to do all these upsells. So I have down here, you can select what upsells you want, and there are specific plugins to create that. And
Hmm.
you can create which size fan you want. So let's say you selected the 16-inch fan. There's your total, and then it would add it to the cart, but you have to customize your initial cart. This was tricky to learn, but
Oh, I
let me
bet.
tell you, that $20,000 I dumped into that program for drop shipping, their stuff could not do this. They couldn't do cross sells. They didn't know how to do add-ins or anything. They knew nothing. I'm like, dude, so I had to throw away the $20,000 I paid because their stuff was inferior to what I could
Yeah.
build on WordPress. And you just have to
Wow.
know how to do it. See how you can do that. And then you can go add to cart. And because I'm actually selling, this is a drop shipping store. So I'll do a module on how I built this store and I could teach people that, that'd be its own thing because
Absolutely. Yeah.
we're going to want to know, how did I do this?
Yeah.
I think I
And
got,
who knows? Some people will be like, "Oh, I want a greenhouse too."
yeah, it's not loading because I changed my platform. So I was just curious if it was
Yeah.
working.
No,
It
but I
was, but
get
I
it.
had to fix my PayPal on it. So we'll get that done. Because I redid my S Corp. So the S Corp is gone. I'm rebranding it as an LLC. So I need to fix my integrations back so people can buy my stuff again.
That's
But
why I'm that's why I'm building my hold co and individual corporations for each business because then I don't have to fix it later.
well, and for me, I don't know Canada, but it's expensive. Each corporation is $550 for me to file the taxes every year.
Mhm.
And I wasn't making money. So I sold a couple workshops, this year on my
So
courses.
here we have what we can call file. It's not very expensive, and they call it a nil. If you don't have any earnings
Uh-huh.
first year, then you can do a nil. After that, yes, it's $1,200.
Uh, yeah. So I with the way it is in the US, it's considered like a trade LLC, which gives you some legal protection. And
Yeah, same here.
you can run each of these trade names under the one LLC to make one filing, not have to do a dozen, but you just track the income expenses separately. Oh, it was so awesome. I'm saving like $500 in filing. This just goes on my regular personal filing because I don't make enough to
Hmm.
take my own payroll on it. Now, the mission I do, okay, great. Leave the mission separate, which it has to be. It's 501(c)(3) donation based, completely separate thing. But yeah, I got like, dude, it's like running two missions platforms running at this other corporation with so much paperwork, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, no way
Yeah.
for me. And the tricky part here when you do drop shipping is you've got to get your refunds and exchanges to kind of be a good cover for every supplier that you have. So it was a little more complicated than I liked doing this, but
Mhm.
the one thing I took from that other program was they gave me scripted, here's how they do it, and so I could look at that and tailor it to my needs. And
Yeah.
that's something that you just don't get automatically with WordPress. So
See, and I'm not there for the drop shipping yet, so
no, I'm just showing you though. You could use
yeah.
the WooCommerce platform for your
Oh
t-shirts
yeah,
and
100%. Like I can,
Printify.
yeah.
And
Like
Printify,
I
you
want to
could,
do t-shirts and then hoodies very shortly after.
yeah,
'Cause they're well, here we call them bunny hugs, but um, because that'll complement quickly as what like as well. And and then from there go from there. But
look at all
yeah.
the platforms. All the different products that I just put my one design in
Hmm.
for each one of these. This is
Yeah.
just came up, and okay, yeah, there we go. And all the different, like even cell phone cases and everything, and there's a hoodie options as well. So
Yeah.
I've got a lot there, but the one thing they have this kind of a mug, they don't have any other mugs.
Okay.
So if I wanted to do that. I can also Printful can let it integrates with WordPress. I don't know exactly the details of the integration, but Printful is like a print on demand platform. You build
Yeah, I've
your
heard of it.
product and
Yeah.
then I don't know if you do the shipping on it and fulfillment or not. I like Amazon, just let Amazon do it. But
Mhm.
and Amazon also has a good traffic. It's just I'm not getting views on these, so I think I have to pay for the ads to get views. But
Mhm.
it sure is fun.
Mhm.
Um, I had a lot of fun with this stuff,
Yeah.
getting it up and live and I like to
Well, my goal is to, that's what I got to figure out. Because the same thing, I want to advertise across Facebook, YouTube, like a few platforms, and then turn around and,
Oh, I went on the UK store by accident. Yeah, I can tell what store I want. And I limited it because it's US, I mean English. So
yeah.
yeah, I have to make sure I did not pull the UK CGDP. Where's my all right, there's my US one. Um, yeah. So here is the hoodie I wanted to show you. I did have
Yeah.
to resize the image to make sure that it would fit with the zipper.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got that and I've got a back on this too. Front,
Mm.
back. So it's kind of neat. So I thought that'd be fun. This is all on the Amazon platform. It was really fun and lots of things to learn.
Ironically, in Canva, I was farting around playing just they have their t-shirt area, right? And so or logo and all that. And anyways, I created one because I wasn't like not working on mine, but I was like thinking of you and I found a really cool tiger head that's like roaring. And then I wrote, "Oh, this is such a great tagline. Never piss off a kitty." But it's a
Tiger.
tiger.
It's a tiger. I love it. Ooh,
Yeah.
now you're
Steal
giving me
it.
an idea.
Steal it. Steal it.
Ah,
So I'm never
might
gonna
have to
use
do
it.
it. That's so
Yeah,
cute.
I thought of you. I was chuckling. I was like, oh,
There's so
she would, because like like for the cat fandom, they would love it. They'd eat it up, right?
yep, yep.
And I
It,
mean, you can even do a regular house cat that's but the tiger just makes it extra, right? Never piss off a kitty, right? Like,
I like it.
yeah,
Yeah. So I have taken your idea here. Do you recognize this one?
fur babies.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah,
I changed it out. I decided to, yeah, that's a winner. So,
yeah,
yep, it was so fun.
yeah. I bet you get some sales from that one. Yeah,
If I get it advertised so people see it, I think
yeah,
so. It's just my
yeah.
I want to learn about ad budgets and what I need for it and
Well, I know there's the organic stuff, but I don't know enough about it, right? Like with Facebook, there's the organic, and I don't know how that all works, but
yeah. So with Facebook, it's really hard to get traction. You've got to get a lot of engagement where they're commenting on your post or it doesn't get sent out. Reels are really good for Facebook, but again, comment below if you want my whatever
yeah,
guide, and then you let mini chat follow up on those guys.
yeah,
I just haven't got it launched. It's another thing to do, and I can't do it all. So I'm building
no,
base now, and that's what I'm focusing on. And right now the only thing really making money because organically it will is being on the influencer platform and being able
yeah.
to do that.
Oh, you're close to hitting your 300 for the month.
And I did. Look at that.
Oh, look at
Canadian
that.
still, $7. Yep. And so here is my just so you know, this one here is my YouTube channel. This one's my
Okay,
garden blog website.
okay.
Oh wait, let me explain that. I said that wrong. This is on Amazon. My garden blog website, I have to click on this. I was like, wait a minute. I don't see that. No, because that was a lot for it. Unless I have a greenhouse sold. Earnings. Okay. So I think yeah, they've reorganized this thing. It used to be I'd get it up here, but now they've redone the platform. So it used to be I could break out my tracking. I know there's a way off Amazon. That's probably it. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so this month, because I haven't sent the emails out on the gardening
Mm,
and why I didn't do it, it's called winter and it's cold and I don't have anything new to send out to people. So my emails didn't sell anything because I haven't sent any broadcast emails. But usually I have another link down here to show what's coming off my site versus what's coming off YouTube. This is YouTube. YouTube ranked videos, and I'm still getting sales from the ranked videos. That rank
Yeah.
is where they searched it, they like it enough, they keep showing the videos over and over and over.
Mm.
So that's why I love YouTube so much. But
Yeah.
it's not
I
a lot
have
of
to try
money
and
until
figure out
you're,
with my shirts how I can incorporate YouTube. So,
yeah, I would think that would be good, but incorporating it with a niche of things that
mhm,
people are already searching. So like green living off grid, when I get my garden t-shirts, I'll put that on my platform and
mhm,
probably start getting some action off my blog site too
yeah,
for that. But yeah, it's pretty exciting to see I hit my 300.
nice.
And I didn't
Every
do
little,
much this month. I've been so
hey,
busy.
that 300 is like 450 to me.
Ah, wow.
Yep.
Yeah, I've heard the best platform really is the US base. Even Canada doesn't have nearly the traction. UK doesn't have the traction for sure. I've got $7, I think, from UK. So
Yeah.
it's just not, it doesn't run like it does over here. But influencer, to get to that, you have to have 500 YouTube views. You have to have 10 blogs on your website,
Yeah.
500 YouTube, not views,
The
YouTube
blogs won't be a
subscribers.
problem. I haven't figured out how I'll get the views on my YouTube. That'll be the harder one.
And that's where you search out what are people searching on YouTube, and you start
Yeah.
Google Trends and Reddit and
Mhm.
viral videos. Whatever people are watching over and over, what topic is that? How do they
Mhm.
pitch the hook? I'm learning that stuff, but I just haven't got a
I
feel
have
for it.
one girl I follow. She's a Christian. She's a boss. What is her my personal brand? I think is her
Oh,
handle on Instagram.
I need to find her.
Let me look it up. I think she's 20 now.
Ah,
She started doing this stuff when she was like 15. Like she went from she's now her last year was $7 million. Like and she just did a video of what her life is. So she's up at 5, she reads her Bible, she does her work. It just oh no, she gets up at midnight
oh,
and then studies her Bible, does her hardcore work from that 1 in the morning till 5 in the morning because it's quiet,
yeah.
and then she does other work, and then like she broke it out, and then it works out um like she's goes to bed at like 5 o'clock at night, 5 or 6 o'clock. Like it's the most bizarre schedule I've ever
Wow.
seen. I'll yeah, I'll find her and I'll have to get your link.
So look what I
Uh,
just created. This was just from stuff I find and I'm researching and then I put together, and chat
yeah.
helps a lot. But 10 engagement hooks, the types of hooks that get views,
Okay.
it can work for like Instagram.
Then you want to follow her because all that you're talking about, she has it in her Instagram. Like, and it's like she just gives it away. Like, I've never seen such detail. It's personal brand launch
Ooh,
is
okay.
her name.
Yeah, and you know what? If something like that is working, maybe teaching something with a different kind of spin, but very similar,
Yeah,
maybe I can get some traction with TikTok.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
She's
another
probably
thing.
on TikTok too. Like
Mhm.
she has 445,000 followers.
Yeah,
Yeah, and like she's openly like talking about how she's Christian and which
love it.
is cool. But she puts out like every little trick that people are doing, she makes a little video about it. See what they did here? This is why they ended up with this many followers. Do this, this, and this.
Wow.
Like, and yeah, so yeah, but the one where I was like, where she showed her, oh yeah, the day in the life of a 19-year-old who didn't go to college
Wow.
is the video I'm talking about. Yeah, read Bible, pray from 12:30 a.m. till or 12 midnight till 12:30 a.m. She works out for half an hour, like walks on her treadmill. Then she does deep work. I'm not sure what that is till 5 a.m. And
Whoa.
then she did a 5 a.m. to 5:05 Valentine's surprise for her husband. She's married already.
Oh, wow.
And then she does breakfast for her dog. Like she breaks it out. It's really cute. And then she does breakfast for herself. And this is from 5:05 to 5:20. And then it's like get ready for the day. So 5:20 to 5:45. And she sticks to this regiment, eh?
Well, I
And
can't do anything to where I'm getting stuck is just I'm trying to
she's
learn stuff.
19, girl. But and then
Yeah.
she takes her dog out, like, but she breaks it out her whole working day. And like she's just it's very simplistic in what she does. But it's also very engaging. But anyways, I would check her out. I think you would really appreciate
I probably,
the nuggets that she
yeah,
has.
yeah. And the thing is, like I'd like to get to a schedule that is more scripted out. Right now, I'm doing so much research that like, oh, I don't know how to do this, and I'll spend like it took me forever to get that Kindle to find the 25% discount. I knew it was there, but where? I had to
Yeah,
dig quite a bit to find it, and like I didn't know how to just get on their platform was not easy to migrate. Like usually
yeah,
you get approved on affiliate and you just click the link and you're right there into your platform, sign in, you're done. Here it was
yeah,
like, watch the video. Okay, now where is that? Well, okay, now where I mean I couldn't find it. I was like forever. And I finally did. Finally did. Like, okay, I got it. But that's the kind of thing that really derails me from any scheduling right now is so many pieces at once that I don't know how to do that it doesn't
yeah.
go real
I
fast.
understand. I'm
Yeah.
even same thing for me, not to your degree, but because I'm still learning so much on how to navigate the tech
I think
that
we're all doing it really in a lot of ways.
oh,
So,
yeah, and it's easy to get bogged down when you're trying to figure that stuff out. But what I'm noticing, like even from October to now,
mm,
the things I can grasp, how much quicker, how much, when I'm looking at stuff or trying to figure stuff out, how faster it's coming. I
yep.
mean, I'm always going to struggle when you get like down to like intense code or something like that, but
Yeah.
it's that I don't know how deep into that I hopefully have to go. Like I'm like, contract that out.
Yeah, I'm gonna
But
probably have to get those VAs because there's pieces to the configuration that it's been a while.
yeah,
I kind of had to take a break for a while. First, I was building the course, and second of all, I just all the people were promoting the same headlines, the same images. I'm like, I'm not
yeah,
doing this. Just not doing this right now
yeah.
because
And that's, I can tell, like, I think probably out of our group of people, like 85% are going to do the Militol or whatever.
yep,
And
that's
I was
exactly.
like, I'm not doing it. I don't care that it's got an 800% gravity. I'm not doing it because everybody and their dog is going to be doing it.
Yeah, and what I want to do something that's going to actually build my back end, my email sequence.
Yeah,
I think our unique and the way Meg is going to pitch her woodworking thing with
yeah.
with therapy for whoever, cancer patient or whatever. I
That's her biggest problem is she wants to help the world and you can't. You have
yeah.
to help a piece of the
Well, and
world.
like I said, she can create another one for a different avatar, but let's get the one working and get her emails built. She's only got that little bit of ad spend that Adam gives. If these emails don't work for her with products, and I mean, there's a whole piece to building the products out. I'm learning. I mean, I'm trying to do this myself. Until
Yeah.
you have that, your back end is not going to make the money. You won't have
No.
your ad spend back. So you've got to build this. And otherwise she's going to be out of money real fast. I've seen people do 7, 8 iterations of testing before they were what, break even?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, $500 and I don't know if we're going to continue on with $500 per test, but that 2000 is gone real fast. And
Mm-hmm.
so I don't want to even on mine, and mine is a little bit more than that because I had a little bit of money that I had left. But even then, I mean, I could be wiped out real fast with these
Mm-hmm.
tests as well if I can't get this back end going. So
Mm-hmm.
I want to do that because this is my chance, my one chance to actually prove that my system works. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't have ad spend beyond that right now. So
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't decided what my budget will be. I've got to do that, but until I build things out, I'm not worrying too much about it. But
you got lifetime too. That's going to be helpful for you.
yeah,
So
and so I can keep pivoting and adapting with everything forever. And
yeah,
so, but yeah, I don't know. I just kept like I was looking at the pelvic floor thing. The gravity is 40. It's been holding strong. she has a massive, like 3 million following on YouTube, right? So she's well renowned. Um, I don't know. I remember Adam's video where he said, this is all about you just need to follow my system all the way through.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, your system states that the first one you're doing, you want to do one that's a minimum 100 gravity.
Yep.
And I was like, okay. So then I went back and I went, well, there's nothing stopping me from down the road doing the pelvic floor one, right?
Yeah, you
And I
can.
was like, hey, I, you know, if I want this to be successful, I gotta follow him. And so yeah, so then I found one that, because it's not only like a lot of them you go into, they don't have like a VSL video. Like it's
Mm,
just
yes.
pictures and write-ups. And I'm like, I want a video. So
So you have to watch on some of those when you say a promote and you click the promote. Sometimes your VSL, if they have one, is actually in the affiliates tab of the product. And I discovered that for one where I hit
oh no, like I've been going to the affiliates tab on
okay, you're
Clickbank,
looking
like
at
under the dollar amount.
hmm
And when you're going through with the product, like the images they have, the emails, a lot of them
okay.
don't have videos.
Yeah, that might be so. I've only looked at well, I looked at my niche, so I haven't spent a lot of time on the other
Yeah.
niches. So
So I went back to, okay, I'm going to do a weight loss one, right? Because that's what Adams said will make, right? Again, he's the one that's working with $75 million, right? Like I'm not going to sit there and argue
mhm.
when he knows, right?
Yep.
So I found one. I'm looking at that glucose sticks, it's called.
hmm
And I went through and I'm like, okay, they have not one, not two, but they have 6 videos you can use. Like they're
Nice.
a couple minutes in length. And I was like, okay, I like this. I liked the formatting. I was like, okay, this is professionally done.
hmm
And so I'm like, okay, this is the one I'm gonna go with. And
Good.
then the other one I was looking is, which I'm locked on the can't get past because of stupid Skype, is the Periderm, which is the
Oh, yeah, to go with the other one that you want to do. You could, here's the thing. You could do that one on the front to do his system. And if you collect emails and you can think of a way to do it with a lead magnet, you could then go back to them with the pelvic floor one and test it that way too on your emails.
okay. Okay, I'll keep that in mind
Yeah,
because
as you're trying to build within that niche and that demographic, the only thing is you can't direct link, I don't think, in ConvertKit. Um, you might be able to. I know MailChimp was definitely not. But I recommend just if you don't have a site that built in this niche area, you could always
oh,
just
I'm going to I'm building, like I'm just waiting for my Duff Services domain to come
oh, okay.
over. And
Okay.
then I'm going to have a website that, like any of these products I'm selling, will have a spot on that website. Hey,
Nice.
my brand is Duff Services, the
Yeah.
Duff Services, and then that way I can put anything on there. It
Yeah,
doesn't
and
matter.
you could link to that section of the site with
Yeah,
this other one and have a little intro article that leads into it, just like a
that's
bridge page.
exactly. Yeah, I
Yes.
had already, from learning from you, know that that's what I'm doing. Like
Mhm.
all my ClickBank and everything, it's gonna have, they're all gonna go to that Duffman Services so that I
Sweet.
can cross
Yeah.
promote them.
Yeah,
So
and that will help you too with your email follow-up because it'll be just one domain. You create the subdomain you want to use as the front end to the all the other pieces.
yeah,
And because I don't know if you've gotten that far with that, because you don't have your domain yet. So you don't
I do. I'm waiting for it to transfer.
that's what I
So
mean. It's not in the
yeah,
account to set up an email system on. You have to get all that set up, and then you'll be able to go to ConvertKit and get an authenticated domain for email sending, and they do. They do a lot of stuff. I know with Go High Level you can too, but it's really a little bit complicated. They might have gotten it better, but being able to get it right into ConvertKit and it does all of this work for us. It's really good.
yeah, yeah.
So
No, I'm excited to learn that, to follow your lead. Uh yeah, so but no, I already, like I said, I'm just waiting. It said it could take up to 60 days for that. I don't think it'll take 60 days to transfer. Because it wasn't linked to, like it wasn't being used for anything, so I
yeah,
think it'll transfer pretty quick.
I think when mine transferred out of I had it in Namecheap it was just within like the week or two.
Yeah.
And I didn't even
I
know.
just keep checking every couple of days
You have
going
to
in.
check because he's not necessarily going to email you his transfer. He's
No,
just gonna-
I figured as much. So I can tell that it's a very use yourself kind of platform, which that's fine. I'm willing to learn, and that's fine.
And
Uh,
that's why, like, I'm doing this coaching, and like Justin knows what I'm doing, so that we work together. I'm like, hey, these are the people I'm working with. I had that other gal from the other platform, and she just expected them to like figure everything out. And oh man, so
yeah,
it's like, all right, well, if you do DIY, be advised, you might get stuck on some of the techie whatevers.
yeah. I
Um,
haven't watched your email, like adding the email catcher.
did I give you the link to that just that one video? Because it was built for MailChimp originally. So if
Yeah,
you read that,
yeah. So I haven't watched it because I'm scared it'll confuse me.
okay.
So,
Yeah. Well, it's not that hard. Oh, are you freezing up? It looks like it's like we're freezing up.
oh,
There you are. There your
oh,
internet
sorry.
is freezing. So it's if you could just substitute in your mind where it says MailChimp, it's actually ConvertKit. The interface
Okay,
looks different, but the parts that you're going to be doing that you want to follow the video is on Spring's hosting, your platform. You're going to want to put this plugin in. You're going to want to bring your PDF in. All those pieces are very relevant. So that's why I
okay,
say watch the video. Just remember the ConvertKit part. You might need a little help if you can't. It's so helpful. I mean, ConvertKit has a lot of good help videos for their side
Mm.
too, but it would
The
be,
other one I want to
you know,
do that'll sequence into this is write a small book, which is basically my testimonial
yeah.
for becoming a Christian at,
Oh, I love it.
40 some blah, blah, blah years old, right? Because I think a lot of people, like I didn't even know that was a thing that I could at this age become one, right?
Oh
Like I
yeah.
thought, oh, I'm too far gone. There's no saving me, like I
Oh
I had no clue, right? Like,
yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing that, and so I think that that could be super helpful to people. And I have a lot of funny stories for when I first started going to church and stuff. Like,
Oh,
everybody kept saying, "Oh, you got your Bible, okay," or like they just kept saying, "Get a Bible." Okay, well that's fine, but nobody tells you there's NLT, or NLV, like all
which
key
one?
names, and I'm like, what the frick does all this mean? Like all the way down. And I kept
Oh,
talking to Pastor Mark about it. But I just kept listening a lot to Joel and Joyce Myers.
all right.
And they were both super helpful to help
Nice.
me in my gain confidence in my journey. Because I think that's ultimately what it comes down to. People realize they're missing something in their life. They don't know how to walk through that front door. They
Yeah.
don't know what that looks like when they do walk through that door.
Yeah.
And even something as simple as get a Bible is
Yeah.
not that simple, right?
Yeah.
And so
Wow.
that's the story I want to tell, and that's the book I want to write.
Oh,
So
sweet. I like
yeah,
it.
yeah.
I think
So
that's going to resonate, especially people that didn't grow up in the church. Like
yeah,
me, I grew up, going to church many
I
different
kind of
places.
want to, I kind of want to write the testimonial book of like, Rich Dad, Poor Dad for real estate. I want to write that, except for becoming a Christian.
I love it. Well,
Yeah,
rich in God's mercies here,
yeah,
and
yeah,
pouring God's mercy. I don't know how you
yeah,
would pitch that, but that would
yeah,
be really cute. Cool.
yeah,
I'd love to see it. That would be
yeah.
neat. It's the kind of thing I love to.
It'll be something like my testimonial before and after, or something like that, right? Like the
Uh-huh.
two sides, right?
Wow. I love it.
How I had to, like I remember sitting in like Bible study and just not like sitting there praying that they wouldn't ask me to pray. Like,
It's so
I don't
funny.
I don't know how. I don't know what I'm gonna say.
Oh,
You know,
wow. I
well,
don't
because I'm
even.
sitting amongst all these women, and everyone in that group was people who basically grew up Christian,
Oh,
right?
yep.
And so you're listening to them and the verbiage that's coming out of them, and I'm going, holy, for the likelies of Moses and a bunch of others, what is happening, right? Like, and for somebody like little old me, and it was again, I listened to Joyce Meyer, and she had one episode where it's like, no, it was Joel. had the one episode where it was like God speaks all accents. So it don't matter if you got a New York accent, it don't matter, and just
Mhm.
start talking. That's all it is. And I was like, okay. Once I heard that, it just helped because
Oh
it
my
was the truth.
goodness. I didn't know. You know what? I mean, you're just like helping me understand things that I didn't understand as a Christian because
Because it's you
I
guys have
never knew.
grown up that way, right?
Yeah, I
Someone
never
like
knew
me
that
who
somebody
came
like,
into it at 46 years of age did
oh,
not grow up. I've had more years not
ah,
versus, you know. So I see all these little
geez.
things and take notes and
Oh my goodness, I never thought it never dawned on me for a minute that somebody
Mhm,
like he says to, Paul says to the Athenians when he's talking to them about the unknown God, they had their statue up there. They had all these other gods, and he's like, to the God you do not know that you worship in ignorance, because you say
mhm,
he's an unknown God, is the God I'm going to proclaim to you. And in that sermon, in that statement to them, he actually said that he is not too far from any one of you,
mhm.
which I've always been intrigued by that. Like, why would people think he's that far? But then I'm like, well, maybe they don't know how to relate to him or how to call out to him. And
That's
it's,
exactly. They don't know how to call on to them. But it's have a conversation. That's all it is.
yeah,
That's the call on. Have a conversation.
yeah,
Pretend you're picking up. That's how I started praying. Pretend I'm picking up the phone. Okay, God, I'm here. We're going to discuss today. Okay, here's where I screwed up. Like that's literally what I did in my mind
yeah.
so that I could build it out, right?
Wow. But to me, to even think that someone who never grew up with that background would have
Hmm.
no concept of that. And I'm like, it's
Hmm.
like, wow, you
Yeah.
gotta help me
Hence,
out. Like,
hence why I want to write this book.
oh man. And see what I do in my ministry, I work with people that already have a religious background. Jehovah's Witnesses think they know how to pray.
Yeah,
And they think I don't. Well, that's fine. We'll talk
yeah,
about that.
yeah,
Because they have their version of prayer. And then you have the LDS have their view, they pray with their arms crossed like that. But
yeah,
I'm talking to an audience that already has some basic concept of calling out
yeah,
to God. I'm like,
yeah.
but then the one who has nothing, I'm like, oh, wow,
Hmm.
you would
And
be
that's,
really good on a YouTube channel. Like,
yeah,
just telling,
yeah, yeah. It'll all tie together
I
in time.
love it.
Like that's, and the
Wow.
other book I want to write is about women in non-traditional work, and it's called Did You Ask Your Husband?
Huh.
Yeah. So, and that one will be about all the culture differences and the trials and tribulations of working non-traditional work. Yeah.
I have a friend who, she was a single mom, had to go work the trades and driving truck.
Good money. It's good money.
Hmm.
I would love to get to a point where I can speak at like elementary, like grade 8, junior high, high school to girls, young women. Look, it's 4 years of going to school, but by the end of that, you have the ability to make six figures.
Which is not something anymore, the tech industry, because it's all overrun with everybody wanting to do tech.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's changed a lot in the 20 years since I graduated from high
yeah,
school. So,
yeah. Yeah. I just, and it's an area that isn't going to replace it with robotics. It ain't happening anytime soon.
hmm.
Like you look at, like plumbers, electricians, carpenters.
Yeah, no, no
That's
robots.
not happening soon,
And not
right?
for something that's small scale, like the guy who comes and fix under your sink cabinet and you charge you
And
200.
it's not just like when you put it in those perspectives, there's all the other aspects. You can get into safety, you can get into teaching, you can get into, like there's so many areas that you
Mm.
can get into that people don't even realize that associate with that stuff.
Well, I probably could get into it since I grew up fixing houses with my dad and a
Yes,
lot of
I was
stuff we
surprised to
talked.
learn that. I was like, oh, sweet.
Yep, yep. I was talking to a realtor. I was looking at my house is so small, but I can't afford the housing now. It's too high. But there was one I could have gotten, but we weren't able to get my offer in soon enough. So it's taken under contract now. Maybe it'll fall out, but The point is that I'm like, we were talking about, well, this house needs this. Okay, that baseboard, you can put the quarter round on. Oh, okay, cool. Like, I know exactly what he's talking about. And like a lot of people be like, what? I know exactly what tools to take that off. I know exactly how to spackle and mud and tape
Yeah.
and, but and then I go, okay, so this is about, they're pricing it at 400,000, but when you calculate out what this would be, this bathroom needs to be gutted. Now there's 10,000 there. Let's see, we got to go put the carpeting on these floors. That's gonna be $2,000 to $3,000 for all that carpet over here. The wood, like I could do the math. I said, do you know this house at this price should have been 50,000 cheaper? I'm telling it to the realtor because I already look at that. I'm like, you got a porch here. You got to rip this porch out because you got the stuff's rotted underneath. You can't go with those pillars. You got to rebuild the whole thing, and that means you got to get a permit, right? So you start figuring out all this stuff because I have a little background. I kind of know about it, but
Yeah.
I'm not doing another business. Well, I
No.
am. It's my own rental business, but I'm going to be the consumer on that one, not teaching it, but maybe I
Yeah.
could. There's so many things I could do. I created horse carvings out of wood. Like I know how to work with chisels, and I grew up with my dad doing wood shop and with my three brothers homeschooled.
You got enough irons, lady, no more.
No, it's so funny. Then I get on a call in this one group, and this guy's building this program for parenting kids, and I'm like, yeah, you got to teach them about retribution and creating their like be creative. Otherwise, they're doing time on time out, training them for prison. Everybody goes laughing. And like I could do that one too. Gonna be at my age, you get so many different experiences if you get out there, and it's
Oh yeah. Well,
fun.
how old are you, Christy?
48.
Yeah,
Well,
we're literally I'll be 50 this year. Like
yeah,
we're
we're real
literally the same
close.
age. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Mhm.
But yeah, now we're in the stage of okay, we gotta get money out. Like stop doing the low end grocery jobs or whatever that don't pay enough to even hardly pay your food bill. So
Right.
yeah.
So yeah. But anyways, I just like I said, it will all in time tie together. But when I sat down, I'm like, the t-shirts is one I can do right now with little overhead. And then following Adam's ClickBanks and just getting money coming in there.
Hmm.
I can between those two, and then I can go to the next phase and the next phase, and yeah.
Yeah,
So
sounds good. Well, it's a process, and you're in for the long haul. You got lifetime, which is great.
yeah, yeah. Well, I knew it was. I want this. Like, I want this laptop lifestyle. Like, I want to. You
Yeah,
know, I enjoyed my all my years in the trades and all the things I did. Um,
not so good now though, trying to actually do that work.
when you, it's that tipping point, right? Where, there's that very simplistic saying of work smarter, not harder.
Mhm.
Well, it comes down to the harder part is it's hard on your body,
Is right.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so now what can I do with the experiences I'm, like Dean Kozanowski has that saying where the message is in your mess. So what's the message that you can pull away from your either anything, whether it's your successes, your failures, what is that message? And so that's when I heard him say that, I was like, okay, I've got enough messes behind me and life experience that I definitely can make some messages and make some profit.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited. I mean, we're all kind of in this entrepreneurial journey together. Can't
Yeah.
wait till we get those big wins, whether it's Adam's product taking off and now we can spread it. The only problem is how much ad spend can I continue to pour into it. But hey, something, if I could pour my little bit and keep pouring it and it grows, if I can
I
do
honestly, I know you guys talked about how bad it was with the live intent and losses of ad spend. I don't think it'll be anywhere near that
I
with
should
this
hope so.
program, just for the fact that this is literally the funnels or like the emails that he's utilizing to make millions.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I honestly think that we're going to be overwhelmed with how much we make.
He said that, in one of the calls, he said to me, he says, you'll like the responsiveness you'll get on this one. I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah, I said, I'm looking forward to it. So,
yeah.
and
And I think it will be that way because it's not like there's going to be thousands of people competing, and
Yeah.
doing all the same thing. You know what I mean? Like when they were, when you were doing your media, not Media Mavens, is it Media Maven? The few items that were on,
Media Maven's listicle.
the-
Yeah.
yeah, and stuff, and I'm just like, okay, so we're all only selling 6 things. I'm like, that's
Well,
not
it
very
was more than that, but it still wasn't like they weren't catchy, like super
yeah,
edgy. He's gonna
yeah.
bring Getty Up back. That has really good edgy products that maybe you don't see other places. I don't know all the different traffic sources.
He said there's 8 in total that
Yeah.
he's going to bring. And I was like, that's because what that does too is now we're not all using ClickBank where,
Yep.
people you'll get the ones that I figure probably 60% of the students will stick with ClickBank because they heard the name. It's the first like
And they
this
know
first
how to
group.
do it because some of these folks are very tech challenged.
I'm tech challenged, but I'm willing to put the time into learning it instead of just sitting there whining,
Mm,
right?
yeah.
And the and that's his videos, all his training stuff is, well, here's ClickBank. This is how you do it. So everybody coming in, they're gonna stick with ClickBank. So I'm excited because I'm the type that I'll go to YouTube, I'll ask people questions, I'll do the things to learn the
Hmm.
other ones. And then, my goal will be, okay, there's 8. I want one profitable from each one, right? And
Yep.
then because now then you're diversifying, right?
Yes.
Because what if ClickBanks gets bought out and then the whole platform goes down, like
Yeah, you're thinking
yeah,
outside the box. And my thing is if you collect those emails, you can't, they're yours.
yeah.
And now you're building your own set of products. Nobody's taking
Hmm.
that away from you. And that gives you the real strength because that's where you see the real margins.
Hmm.
Because
Yeah.
ClickBank takes its claw back, has its
Yeah.
refund rate,
Yeah.
and it's only 75% to start with, 25% maybe clawed back as usual. I don't know if that's the word they use,
Yeah.
recharged or whatever. So 50% of what you see on those prices.
Yeah.
And then you've got Verve doesn't pay out until you have $1,500 worth of money you're due. Well,
Mhm.
if you spent all this ad spend to try to get it running.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
have nothing left over. It's like, so I was
Hmm.
like kind of frustrated. I'm like, I got a sale, but I never saw it. And
Yeah.
it's just things like that. So I'm excited to see what we can do. And I think my little ad spin I've left, I'm going to really try to get this back end going so
Hmm.
that I can actually monetize with these folks for much further
Both.
than just what I can
Yeah.
do here.
Yeah.
That's the only way I think I'm going to win at this stage of the game because my
But
budget is way too
this is the
big.
cool thing about like me doing the Duff services though, right? Because I can have a dedicated spot even for your items, like your course, right? So
Linking to my course or something like that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
It just depends on how you want to break everything up and how you target and how
yeah.
you a big part is the targeting, getting that laser focused into one particular avatar. Because I was broad thinking when I started. I didn't know.
I know, and that's everybody's mistake. Everything I'm looking at is the mind of the 45-year-old, 50-year-old woman, me. I'm
Hmm.
like, hey, what am
And
I
you're your
buying?
best
What do I
avatar.
want? What's irritating me, right? So,
And I think really if Meg sticks to that woman who's
mm,
got cancer because she
mhm.
can really relate to that with her meditation stuff.
Yeah.
Women love that stuff.
Uh-huh.
Guys could care less.
I know. I'm like,
They're
I
harder to,
get you're working physically with guys, fair enough. A
they
lot
don't have
less
the
of them
same.
are going to look online, whereas a woman is more likely to click some buttons.
You're right. Good point.
Yeah.
You're right. And a lot of guys are very stubborn. Women
Mhm.
teaching them, oh, have heaven's sakes, no, unfortunately.
No, and that you're right. Like I
Yeah.
didn't want to say that, but I was thinking the exact same thing. I'm like,
I well, I've had so much of that friction in my mission where I
mhm,
couldn't go to a church and like speak, and they got the women teaching men thing as well. But it's the
mhm,
mindset. They
mhm,
don't, but the funny thing is the guys that like actually buy my book, they're not getting it from me directly. They're just buying the book. It works so well. They're like, I had one guy the other day, he's like, man, your stuff is good. What else do you have? So I was like, gonna buy some more of my books. So like I definitely have a good following of guys that love my stuff because it
mhm.
because I've really get into the mindset of a Jehovah's Witness and Mormon and whatever.
Mhm.
So so
I'm
it's fun.
surrounded by Mormons and Jehovah's Witnesses where I live.
And Jehovah's Witnesses are big in the trades, by the way. So
Yes.
they're more
Actually,
more
the Mormons out here are all tradespeople.
really because they're business
Yes. Well,
white.
they're Latter-day Saints,
Mhm.
so that's their church. It's literally up the block here, and they're building
Oh,
half.
is that with I don't remember where you are because I don't know Canada. So
Yeah.
where are you as it relates to the United States? Like I don't know what.
Right below us is Montana and I want to say the
Oh,
tip of Idaho, and then
oh, this is
beside
heavy
North
Mormon area.
Dakota.
Yeah, you're
No,
heavy. Well, no, the Montana, Idaho, that's heavy Mormon area, pioneer stock.
yeah, yeah.
So,
So
but yeah, and I don't know about North Dakota. Who knows? I don't know that area real well. I know Minnesota is very much not into that,
no,
but it
no,
depends. You can get them
yeah,
anywhere.
yeah,
So,
well, yeah. It's
and the
whatever. But
thing is, if you understand like how they think, I can relate to them really well and like where
yeah,
they get comfortable talking to me because I know the mindset and I
mhm,
know like there's a lot of truth in it too. So the stuff that I can agree with, like I am like I'm right with you on that and and so I can have a good conversation that just builds rapport and like, oh, I get them and they get me like really quickly. And
mhm.
then, I could spin a little. I'm very subtle. Like I do not try to tell them they're wrong because nobody wants to hear that.
Oh, I know. I would never like that. What I was
Yeah,
telling you,
we were
I
having
would
fun.
never say that to their face. But I'm just like, when I looked at it and what it was about, and I'm like, you guys are following something that somebody created in a university course. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and there's a lot of things that yeah, I'm thinking of the theology stuff that he was
yeah,
grappling with. And those are things that anybody can have a problem with and then be
mhm,
susceptible to Nelson Barber and you know, Ellen G. White and all of the Adventist stuff. Well, I'm stepping on probably some toes over here. But some of those have become more closer aligned with Christianity now, but
mhm.
there are more fringe groups and so I try not to broad brush anybody because I don't know their background. So the first thing I do is like, how'd you get into this? And I might hear some story of, hey, I lost my loved one. Somebody gave me when someone you love dies. Watched our pamphlet, really ministered to me, and then came to my door every single week. We met and read the Bible together. And now I understand things I didn't. I can really appreciate what that Jehovah's Witness did to help that person feel a closer connection with Jehovah. So now let's work with what we can work with, and then I start to ask questions on the things that maybe they didn't study. And like very, very low key. That's my approach with everybody. So like because it's not about telling them they're
Oh,
wrong.
it's not my calling to go around and have
Oh,
these
I love them. I just
conversations.
love these people. Like I can hang out all day with them because I really get them. And
Yeah.
I have actually in certain settings. So and then God just puts within you when he calls you to a certain group a real love for them and that shows in every way that you talk to them and then they actually really like talking to you and so like I have such a good time with them. So that's the fun thing. Like I go out in the street, she's with the antis, but she's kind of fun. And I can make them laugh in no time. Like there's stuff in the LDS religion, like you just get them in the right topic in the right setting and where they're comfortable. They're like, yeah, that is kind of far-fetched. They won't say it, but you see it in their eyes. Yeah, that is far-fetched. Yeah, like how's this gonna work? God and his wife having all these babies that are supposed to populate the whole earth. There's only one wife up there. Are you sure? Like how many heavenly mothers do you think he had to have? Like how many babies? Like how do you keep track of all that? And then they try to do this times. I have fun with collab. Okay, so I'm talking like I could just go there with them and they're like they start laughing because it is like how many wives does he have to visit every second to keep up with the current population growth rate? And they're like they just break out. I tell you, like you just know how to when you establish credibility and rapport, and then you start going into these types of things that they know that because of your background, like you because I don't upfront tell them that, but we get to it as friends later, and it's just like, and then you get them laughing about the yeah, that doesn't really make sense, but they won't tell you that you're right that maybe that view isn't right. They don't, because they can't admit they're wrong.
But
So,
once you crack that seed, they can't unsee it, right? Like
uh-huh.
that's what's
And that
cool.
and what I do is I'm a seed planter. I plant the
Mhm.
seeds of the word of God, the truth that the Holy Spirit will use to bring them out and hopefully bring them
Mhm.
to Christ. And it's the most wonderful thing to do. I just love it. So,
Yeah, and I honestly I talk a lot to like I call them the normals, like just people that have no religious ties.
mm.
And like in my
And
day
you
to
could
day,
relate. You could really relate to that.
I sure do.
I love that. How God
Yeah,
puts us all together and rub your shoulders for the kingdom of God in different ways that you can
yeah,
relate. I don't know that. I
yeah,
came to Christ when I was 5. Okay.
yeah,
What I
yeah,
know about the BC years before Christ,
yeah.
I don't know. What's it like to not have the Holy Spirit walking with you every second of the day?
Um, it's a lot of overwhelm. It's a lot of micromanaging. It's a
Mm,
lot of stress. It's a lot of um, anxiety is rampant, I feel, because when you don't realize that there is a higher power in control of everything and you're not,
hmm
you take it all on. And not in a God complex way, but in a way that you're so overwhelmed by the decisions, by the everything. And that's what was lifted for me when I became baptized was I don't have to have these answers. I don't have to know everything. I don't, especially like in my family, I was like the pillar, right? It's like, well, Alyssa will know, or she'll find an answer. Go ask her, right? Like, and
Of
and I'm
course, you
like,
as a kid.
I, my mom said from the time I was 2, I was like a little adult. And so, so then people just would always come to me for answers, right? And then as you get older, it's more and more stress and more answers and more and more and more and more and more until you're just to the point where you're frazzled, like you're just
Mm,
wound tighter than a top. And so many people, I'm like, you can just give that away, right? Like you don't have to carry that. You have two options. You can worry or you can pray, but you can't do both. Because when
mhm.
you're worrying, you're playing God. When you're praying, you're giving it to God.
Oh,
So
I
you
like
need,
that.
it's the simplicity of it, right? And
Yeah.
I just, that's what I'm good at because I'm still like, you're always learning. You're never not learning. But, like I said, when I started listening to Joel, listening to Joyce, reading the Bible, and I went, holy, I spent all that money on self-help when all I needed was a $90 book,
Yeah. There's so
you
much
know?
richness in that in the
And
Bible.
then people get blinded by religion.
Hmm
That is their true spike that they hold on to.
Yep.
Look at all the horrible things. Look at how the priests molest boys. Look at and I'm like, okay, first of all, you're combining so many things into one group. It's crazy. So let's step this out. Okay, first off, okay, the reason bad things happen to people is because God loves us so much that he gave us our own free will.
Yeah.
If he took free will away, we're robots. We
Yeah.
are all robots. We're walking around and we're all doing the left, left, right, left.
And you
That's
can't
it.
love in that setting.
That's right. And I'm like, so with free will, some people choose to abuse it, and that's their free will. And I said, if God steps in, then that free will is taken away. And
Mhm.
I said, it's horrific what we will do to one another, but that has nothing to do with God other than his love of us having the right to choose.
And then at the end, I mean, it'll be so evident how he chose the loving path, even though we're like, if God's loving, why does he allow this? Well, when there's a real hell, this is why I have to believe in a real hell because you look at the horrid things they did to those Israeli hostages. It's like a second.
I don't even know because I haven't even
I've
heard.
watched, yeah.
Yeah.
I have a friend who's actually studying under one of the Jewish archaeologists there, and I keep up with the people I know over there,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
influencers too, as well. And it's just, it's horrid. And you go, those
I
There's a
heard
reason there
rampant,
has to
like
be.
simple things like beheadings and stuff, but
Oh,
yeah.
and the when they returned the hostage mom with her two babies in little bits and pieces of parts that they took apart after they
Mhm.
strangled the babies, and they sent another woman's parts so that, to not to try to hide how much abuse they rendered on. Like there's God has to be just, has to have a hell.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, just like the prison camp with Hitler, I think this is a second Holocaust they just went through.
Mhm.
And they
Pretty
tried
much.
another version. They tried another October 7th last Friday. I don't know if you knew this because the news was hush hush about it. But they
Gibberish.
had planted bombs all over the Jewish buses to go off at 9 a.m. And because they programmed the bombs wrong, the terrorist attacks didn't occur because they went off at 9 p.m. and nobody was in the
Oh,
buses.
nobody was on the buses.
And they had planned as soon as that went in the mass chaos, they were going to go rush in again and kill a bunch more people. This is the Palestinians, the demons
I know.
across their neighbors. Like, and
Yeah.
and this stuff. I mean, you hear this and you go, Israel cannot live with these people. They're
No.
they're they're not they're not even human. There's
Mhm.
too much demonic whatever in that religion in that country, whatever in Hamas, because they've brutalized their own people.
Mhm.
It's horrid. Yeah, free Palestine, all right, from Hamas is what they need to be saying.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's just sad. But you know what? I know the time book in the Bible. It says at the very end, the women would be ravished, the houses turned to rubble
Yeah.
when they went against the unwalled city. And what does it say in Thessalonians? When they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction shall come upon them like a wet labor upon a woman and child. This is Thessalonians. This is Ezekiel. The unwalled city, guess what? They weren't guarding like they were supposed to. They had this peace festival. When they say peace and safety, you start looking at those prophecies and you go, huh, hmm, there's some pieces coming into play here. I don't know 100% how this is going to all play out, but there's an awful lot of prophecy that could be at least somewhat.
Well, I was watching a reel uh yesterday or today about how there's the three, like the timelines of uh the stuff in the Bible before Jesus is 2000 years,
Mm,
then there was the 2000 years, and then we're coming to another end cycle of we're close to that 2000 years. Guy
yeah.
breaks it out in math anyways, and I was like, wow, that's crazy, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know, like
Well,
the timelines and
and there are a lot of debates on different views of timelines. I've actually studied it in depth because I had to deal with the cults. When I dealt with the cults, I discovered my own view was wrong from what I grew up with. So,
well,
I've done a ton of research. I won't go into that because I don't want to confuse anybody. My view on timelines is actually different than the most views because of things that have happened in the way that different people in history have spun it to try to cover up. And like, there's fulfillment that really fits the history that people in that religion actually tried to push it and respin the ending of those verses, like how to interpret it, so that they wouldn't see the obvious fulfillment in some of those areas. So I think that when he says that no one will know the day and the hour and he'll come like a thief in the night, there's a reason there's a lot of ambiguity as to how to decipher those, because if people understood things as clear and as simple as I think it really can be put together, then we would know. Not that we'd have an exact time, because no one knows that, but I think he's going to come like a thief. A lot of Christians are going to be, I think, surprised actually, because they're looking for this 7 year time frame and they're looking for this, 1260 days of an Antichrist that they totally missed was already here, already had the Antichrist movement. But there's things that they don't see because of the way it's been taught in the last 200 years. And go back to before, like back to the reformers and start to look at how they look at prophecy back to 1700 1800s. You'll be surprised at how much has been rewritten. And that's just a little tidbit.
I know there's so much to it, like,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's
Well, and I think some of the people that have those frameworks are starting to look at what's happening in Israel and going, some of this kind of fits some of the events we were taught were not supposed to happen yet. And I'm like, yeah, there's a reason. There's a reason. So I think it's really going to be, Jesus could come back really soon. And then again, he might not. Maybe Trump will calm things down over there. But man, things are escalating up there. The heat.
Well,
Right.
the people he's putting around him aren't gonna play nice. They're ready to come from all four sides and
And that's
eradicate them.
and
Like they're
we
not.
know that's when Jesus shows up. His feet on land on the Mount of Olives after when he destroys with the brightness of his coming, as it says in the was it Thessalonians, whom the Lord will destroy with the brightness of his coming. That'll be like a nuclear blast. And
Pretty
all this
much.
stuff,
Yeah.
he's gonna have to. You see how evil they have programmed those kids to behead their dolls in
Yeah.
Palestine, to be that much hatred towards the Jews that the babies, the little toddlers are killing their own little dolls. This is not normal human behavior. So there's something, I mean, horrid. It's God's gonna be just. When you
Mm.
read what happens to the nations coming against Israel, when I see what happened to Israel this last time, it's like when the books are open of what happened to these terrorists, that the terrorists did to these hostages, because a lot is covered up in media and you only get it from the people coming out who are saying what they did.
Well, and then you got universities teaching the kids to cheer for Palestine.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I'm just like, oh wow.
And they're spinning the whole narrative to say Israel has destroyed so many of their numbers, but they actually have more people over there. More babies have been born during this so-called invasion against Palestine. That couldn't be so if Israel was not being just in the way that they went about doing the war. So no, it is such a lie. Then that whole culture is built to lie. It goes back to the Quran. Their God lies in the Quran. So
Mhm.
it's endorsed. I probably shouldn't be saying those things. I could be stepping on all kinds of toes of other people watch the videos after the fact, but
Well, you'll have to cut this out at the end.
maybe I
Yeah.
won't. I don't know. But anyway, the whole point is I'm excited about the times we live in.
Mhm.
Knowledge shall increase. That's another prophecy that's getting fulfilled right now with ChatGPT. Like all of that stuff is like, and every eye will see him now. We have the technology to do it on our phones when he
Mhm.
comes back. There's just a lot of things that are like, that wasn't that way 100 years ago.
Nope. And things are moving fast. Like you even go from 100 years to like ago. If you go from today to 100 years, how much more faster will things be? You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
it's the changes. You know what I mean? That's
That's
a
why
lot.
we do our best to make the most of each day and make the most of
I'm
opportunities
just
we have to impact
I'm just
lives.
so happy to know that there's a place that's not here that's waiting for me. So no matter what comes at me,
Hmm.
I know that's where I'm going, and it's just very freeing. So
Because you're not in control. Your
I'm
life
not.
is hid with Christ in God, as it says
Mhm.
in Colossians. I
Yeah.
love it. And it's such a hope. If people could, it's not just a hope, it's a no so hope. Like we have a confident hope because it's
Mhm.
not based on our works, it's based on what Jesus has done. You either ride in the car of Christ or you walk yourself. And if you walk yourself, you're going to fail because all have sinned and fallen short of the
Mhm.
glory of God. So that's where the only hope is.
Yeah. But I should get going. You should get going.
Yes, I do.
Oh,
Kids got to go to bed. So
yeah.
wonderful, Alyssa. Thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and stop this thing and we shall resume next week.
See you, dear.
Bye.
Bye.